What's going on, dude? Hell yeah. I'm sending you a an invite so that you can join in, not as an orb.
Okay. The orb thing might not work for our purposes today.
I wouldn't think so. You are Godsmack in the chat. What's going on, you are Godsmack? Thanks for joining in, bud. Welcome back. So, Slade, man, what did you think about the first hub?
I love that. I thought Sword's base was quite. Well, as you can see, I'm at a loss for words. So yeah,
It's pretty. It was,
pretty outstanding.
yeah, dude. It was seriously legit. I had another base picked out, and then I finally was able to see the base that Sword had built because he tried to get me to go there during a live stream the other day, and I couldn't see it. And so I finally got it to load, and then when it did, I was just like, because I think he forgot to upload it. When I finally saw it, I was like, oh, holy shit. That's just too
Yeah,
damn
I saw.
cool.
Well, I saw you, rolling up on it, and I was like, "What is that out there in space? I've never seen anything like whatever." I'm like, "That's some kind of weird anomaly." And then as the closer you got to it, I recognized the outline of his signature like base, right?
Yep.
With all the domes and stuff, and you came up and I was like, "Holy shit, that's legit in space," you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, we got You Are Godsmack joining in on the game session right now.
Nice. Welcome, welcome.
He is a recent mover to the FDI hub, so I don't know if he moved a save here or if he just came here, slapped down a base, and travels back and forth between other hubs, which obviously is completely okay.
Absolutely. We are non-discriminatory, non-denominational. You're more than welcome to be involved in whatever else you're involved in, and come hang out with us anytime.
I'll tell you what, putting the capital that high up on the mountain was a great idea because you basically have a completely panoramic view of all the bases in Pittstain.
Yeah, it's a good location. It's a little bit bizarre how we located it on top of there, though. I wasn't. I I'll just be honest. I was kind of hoping it would have been a little more symmetrical, a little more centered in there, and um, but the build itself turned out amazing. I'm just like Boyd is he's a talented individual, that's for sure.
Oh
And
yeah.
how he comes up with some of the stuff that he comes up with is just like, and I'm hanging with him, So for materials, I was kind of like his step and fetch it boy, He needed some materials. I would go dupe some, like, if it was a stack of pure ferrite or ferrite dust or whatever it might be, and I'd just go dupe up a bunch of stacks of that and just hand it to him, and he was just slapping this shit down like it was nothing, just like, I'm like, what's he gonna do now? And just it's like he has it all in his head exactly. He wants to lay it out, and he just bang, bang, bang. I'm like, what's he doing? What's he doing? And then it starts to take shape, and I'm just like, holy crap, it's bizarre. I think I don't have that sort of creative bone in my body at all. But for him, it's just like nothing.
Well, he
Wow.
doesn't uh, he doesn't use a lot of base components, right? He uses like infrastructure pieces, and he's been doing it that way for a long time. And so like he has a really deep understanding. Him and a lot of the guys at the GCC have a deep understanding of how those components link together and sort of how to quickly slap together structures. Because these guys have been doing their thing, like Ogalos and Void Gaming and all those guys. That they've been doing their thing since like fucking Pathfinder, man. Like building the craziest bases. See, dude, as
Oh yeah.
soon as
Oh
as
yeah.
soon as it said that you entered the system, the entryway started to load up.
Really?
Yep.
Well, it takes a while. I mean, even for me, just when I show up, it takes a long while, um, because it's the base complexity. It's I don't know where he was at. I could probably, since it's my base, technically I should be able to look at the and be able to see what the base complexity is at. As far as how close it is to max. Um,
I'll put it. I'll tell it to you like this. This base is predominantly infrastructure pieces, and there is no way in hell that it's more complicated in terms of actual base parts than Fiji. And if Fiji will load, this will load. Because I made a lot of critical errors with Fiji. I did not use enough infrastructure pieces. Everything I put down was a base part. Every plank, every guardrail, every building was a base part. And from my understanding, is that that uses significant structure or base complexity. So,
yeah, probably. On how it all works.
well, dude, Fiji, I don't know if you've been to it recently, but it almost crashes my game every time I go.
Oh, really? That
Oh yeah,
sucks because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful little build out there, man. It's awesome.
I know that they're
Can you
gonna.
see this big?
Oh, good.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I hope that in a later update that they're able to expand on that stuff with better servers and everything, so that this stuff can get even gnarlier.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much everybody's. Because the big thing was cities, right? You can build cities now, all that. Uh, we're not close to being able to build cities, quite frankly.
Well,
Um,
in the
but we're
trailer for the next update, he said complex colonies.
That's cool. Then they're gonna have to do some sort of major server overhaul, I would imagine, to be able to pull that off the
Yeah.
way that we'd all sort of like to see it happen, which is pretty much not crashing your base, with a complexity cap and all that. Um, you know, I hope they do it. I hope they figure a way to do that and to make it what we all sort of dream it will be, because dude, that'll be dope. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's just we're close. I mean, I feel like it's right at our fingertips already. But
Oh yeah.
it's just, I mean, we've come a long way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that what we've got right now is cool. I'm walking around this build. I don't know if you can see the interior yet. I'm walking around this build just going, wow, this is it's just cool for what we've come. I mean, from launch to the Pathfinder. I mean, you've gone over this in great detail. Just the leaps and bounds that the game has made, and you know, insofar as being able to build bases and then adding to that and the different parts and it's just it's been leaps and bounds. And where we're at now from where we started, it's gone quite a ways, and the only question remains is how much farther can they take it,
Oh yeah.
and that's gonna be the interesting thing to see.
It's a
Okay, so
it's a
let's.
very different game now. Very different.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's enjoyable. It was a great game to start with for the sort of solo lonely experience. That was groundbreaking, and I loved that for what it was. I'm loving this game for what it is now, though, with a little more community oriented, a little more um, group sort of efforts, and being able to link civilizations together and link pretty soon, hopefully, link bases together and things like that. Build the complex cities that we're after. But I'm loving the community aspect of it. I guess is what I'm trying to say that we're able to do now.
Oh yeah. I love what they did with the community event. So like now the community event is it's a three-tier system based on the activity of the entire community. And then now with this latest patch, you can pick the type of activity that you do. whether it's discover new planets, whether it's combat, or uncover things that are in the ground. So it's like with every little patch, with every little title update, they're getting crazier and crazier with what they add. I mean, it's like not even incremental anymore. It's like they're compounding everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I
true.
mean,
It's
if you
growing
think about it,
exponential.
less than a year ago, you could only have one base in an entire system. Right now, we have 15 bases on like one planet.
Yeah. Every time I come back to Anya, uh, I'm seeing like three and four, or sometimes five more base icons floating around, and like I thought I
Hmm
knew where everybody's base was, and it's like, well, okay. So it's been a while since I haven't visited half the bases that are on here now. So I'm gonna have to get busy and go drop some comms balls around here.
So we got John Hall in the chat. John Hall says, that base is so fucking sick, dude." Yeah, it really is. For some reason, right now, John, it only and that's why in my video today I didn't include any interior shots with that video because it only seems to load when Slade is here at the moment, and we're trying to figure out sort of what's going on with that. But now that he's here, you can actually see the walkway a bit. There's grass that's kind of clipping through it, but you couldn't see that before in the video today. And there's a little bit more interior, which you guys of course have not seen, but they've added more interior here, and we've still got some grass clipping inside the building. We've got some trees and land formations clipping inside the building, but hopefully that sorts itself out.
Yeah, that's a giant tree in there. I
Yeah.
chopped it down. I chopped it down and threw it in the fireplace, but that's on my instance.
I mean, but
uh,
this is her, guys. This is the FDI Capitol building here. And let me get out a photo mode before the game crashes. But this is her. This is the
that's the
B
queen,
the yep,
the queen mother.
the Cathedral
Yeah,
of
the
Freedom.
interior. There you go. I love that. That'll work. It's so big inside, and it's so tall that the weather actually. And I hope that's another aspect that I kind of hope they fix because my base is the same way, but it's so big that I think it just sort of the weather pattern sort of reads it like as though it was outside. So you get weather inside the building, which hopefully that'll change at some point.
I'm sure it will. I think that's more of like an issue with the way that they programmed collision in the game. But they're getting
Mm.
better with all of it. Have you seen so Dave Langer moved into the FDI, but he moved into a different region, and he built a base called Cloud City. Have you seen that?
I have not. No, but
Dude,
I've
I'm
I
gonna
got some visiting to do.
Dude, I'm if you don't mind, I'm gonna go to Cloud City, and then you'll be able to find me on the galactic map. It's south of FDI capital, so you just look straight down and you'll see my icon there. Um, it's quite a warp away. I want to say it's like 800 light years, 800 and
Why
change.
don't we hop on the? Why don't we just hop on the freighter and go?
Can you go with me in my freighter?
I think my freighters are already in the system. Can you? I
Yeah,
think you
let's
can only have one freighter per system, right? That's still a thing.
dude, let's do that. So Dave Langer's base is on a planet where the terrain kind of vaults upward a lot, and it's on a mountain in particular that juts out of a hill. So the base goes high into the atmosphere, or the mountain goes high into the atmosphere. So the clouds actually blow right across the base, the top of the mountain.
Oh,
It goes through the base.
that
It's
sounds dope.
super interesting. So I'll meet you in your freighter, and then we'll head over there.
Well, yeah. Well, I just got thinking. It's not on my discovery list, so I won't be able to navigate there. It's a great idea, but
Okay, so I can go through the terminus because it's saved for me, and then you can just
yep.
warp there in your freighter. You'll see my icon. I'm heading there now.
Alrighty.
John Hall says, "Did you use the multiple base computers?"
No, just the one. That's all in one deal.
And then he says, "It has so much presence when looking at her." I agree. I agree. When you're flying by or walking up towards the FDI capital, it's kind of mind-boggling. It's like, oh wow, you know, it's pretty cool. So,
Yeah,
Cloud
majestic
City.
comes to mind. I mean,
I mean,
presence. I like the way you put that. It does have some presence to it. For sure.
John Hall says, "Let's go see Lando," and he says, "You can warp 4 people on a freighter." Yeah, I forgot that you can do that. Apparently, IGN had said something about you can send your frigates on missions, and the players in your multiplayer lobby can be on the frigate when you send it off, and it'll take them to whatever system the frigate's going. And I don't know if that's true.
I've never actually tried that. I knew that too. I've never tried that with anyone. I think Six Rain and I, my wife was gonna, we were gonna do that at one point. We started doing some of those missions and stuff like that, but we never actually did test out the frigate, whether you could send someone on that mission.
Wow, we're gonna have to give that a shot. So John Hall says, looks like the Majestic 12, looks like the building Majestic 12 operates out of. Not familiar with the reference, I don't think. What's Majestic 12?
I am John Hall. I am completely familiar with the Majestic 12, Majesty 12, and that whole. It's a lot of conspiracy. Well, you can call it theory if you want to. It's actually a lot of that stuff is available in the Freedom of Information Act. But I am a conspiracy theorist from way back. We'll get into it now, but I get the reference. Oh, he's talking about Deus Ex actually, but yeah,
Uh,
Illuminati shit.
I'm gonna have to look into that because I'm into conspiracy theories. I mean, some of them are far fetched and like just ridiculous, but some end up being true. You know, so it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you,
I, Go ahead.
I was gonna say you can't just assume that they're all full of shit. You know, because some of them actually end up being real.
Yeah, true that. I try not to talk about it too much because you can really alienate a lot of people. Um, and I won't talk about red pills and blue pills or anything like that, but that's the thing.
Some Matrix stuff, man.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like be careful, It's like be careful, what you go snooping around into because you could probably find it. Anyhow, it's all in fun. Life is still good.
John Hall says Illuminati, Knights Templar, Freemasons. Shh. I wear my tin
So,
hat, my tin hat or tinfoil hat all the time. Oh yeah.
mine's more figurative than literal. My tinfoil hat, but yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy.
So, do you see me on the
Okay,
galactic map yet?
I'm just now looking into that. I suck at multitasking. I'm not even gonna lie. So,
Oh, you're good.
all right, looking
So
at
if you're looking dead at Anya or Pit Stain, you just look downward, straight down, and then you should see it. And it's roughly 800 and something light years away.
yeah, I should see your icon. Oh, I saw it for a second. There it is. It was just out of view, and it like flashed at me, and it started diving. Popped right up. Well, it's kind of a cool looking nebula down here, isn't it? Like a reddish orange color. Is this Sumu? Is that the animal? Is this
Let me see.
Sumu system?
The system is called Langer Zone. You might be seeing what the original name may have been.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll probably change once I warp in. Discovery's got a little borked for me again. Some of my systems, I was going around trying to do wikis for the multi-tool for the FDI database, and I was like, "What the hell happened to all my discoveries?" When I realized that they'd reverted back to their originals again. So once you warp in there, yeah, now it says Langer Zone, so that's cool. Once you warp back to them, it seems to change right back, no problem. But that's why I've been writing down all the original names every time I discover something now. So in case it gets borked on me again, I can go back and find whatever I was looking for. John Hall's trying to bait me. He says, "But what about the satellites, Slade?" What, John Hall? I don't know what you're talking about anymore now. So I don't know. What about those satellites, buddy?
Holy shit, those are the creatures on this planet? Okay, I've been to this base a couple times. I have never seen that. It's a piece, dude.
Stained glass.
It's a piece of the stained glass chasing me. Well, not now. I'm chasing it, but that is freaking strange. See, dude, this is what the game has been needing all the time. I said the Abyss update was my favorite update because it made underwater feel alien, and that's sort of like what I was needing, right? It was like that sort of unfamiliar, unlike Earth alien vibe. I take it back, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Visions, dude, is the shit right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, but I'm watching you. I haven't. I'm warping to the planet right now, but I'm watching you chase around this whatever this thing is. It looks like I'm laughing my ass off. I've
Yeah,
seen
dude.
this sort of stained glass cubes and stuff, but I haven't seen the animals yet.
Well, each one of the
So
exotic planets has
that's
its
new.
like a specific fauna, and I've never seen that one.
Yeah, I've
So
not seen that one either.
I'm
I
going to
like it
be
though.
I'm going to be going to all these different exotic planets and collecting trophies because I want to go to. It's a system that me and John Hall discovered, independent of each other without realizing that we discovered the same system, and it has an absolutely just mental moon. It's like the most beautiful
Oh,
moon
yeah,
I've ever
I
seen.
heard. Yeah, I saw that conversation about that. Yeah, that's bizarre. You guys both like discovered it and
Yeah.
sort of independent of each other, like you said.
So he's slapping down a base there,
Wow, what a view!
and I'm going to be putting a base there as well. But my base is going to be an art gallery of sorts. It's going to be a showroom for the trophies. So it's just going to be a glass building with trophies everywhere, aisles of them,
Right on. That
to
sounds
sort
dope.
of showcase travels and discoveries. And that'll just be another sort of sightseeing thing in the FDI. John Hall, what do you think about that, man? Look, I'm right up here with the clouds, eye level, my friend.
I know. I just totally dove off the top of the base. That was
We
cool.
we
Wasn't
got
quite
Tariq
your. Wasn't
Starks in
quite
the
your.
chat. What's going on, Tariq?
What up, dog?
Do you pronounce it Tariq or Tariq? I want to make sure I'm saying your name properly.
Looks like Tariq. That'd be my guess. I think he had it.
Had it right the first time, yeah.
Probably. I guess. It's
Now,
hard to
Dave
say with
Langer,
names, you know.
your base is cool as fuck. Okay, but we gotta build some more buildings here for this to be Cloud City. We got more work to do. Conceptually, this thing is amazing. I love where it's at. I love all the unique things about it. I like where you're going with the base. But man, we can really pimp this out. I just know it.
Boy, they seem to have changed the mountain climbing aspects of the dynamics here with the jetpack. You used to be able to just like jet right up the side of a mountain.
Yep. Unless the mountain is perfectly straight up, you're gonna run out of jet fuel a bit. So yeah, dude, the clouds, bro, they clip right through this thing. Look over here where I'm walking.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching it just like sort of envelop your beautiful exotic ship over there. It just looks just surreal. Like from where the landing strip is up, it's like this beautiful like orange salmon color, and then like below that, it's just like like light blue, like clouds.
Yeah, I love the sort of color gradients. So it is Tariq. So you were right, Slade. So I had it right the first time. It is Tariq.
Nice.
Well, welcome back, Tariq. I've seen you in the chat before, and thank you for stopping by. We're just exploring some bases here at the FDI, giving some love to the different builders out here and the stuff that people are slapping down. And we started this stream at our Capitol building. So
You know what else I like? I like how stuff explodes when you hit it with your blat, or if you hit it with a.
it bursts into little pieces, and then they all converge at your
Yeah.
rifle. Did you know that you can holster your weapon? Hold square.
Hold square. Sweet.
Yeah, I
I
discovered
didn't
that,
know that.
dude. Me neither. I discovered it a couple of days ago during a stream, inadvertently, and I was like, wait, hold up, you can holster the weapon? Yeah.
All right. All right, Panda. Draw. 10 paces and draw. Turn and fire. Okay, this electric cube. There's your trophy right here, bro. Did you get that already?
Oh, I have
It's
a
an
couple of
electric
these.
cube.
Yeah, you might want to
Oh,
grab
okay.
one. I've got a few.
I'm grabbing one. For real.
Boom. Tariq says, "Cool. I don't really like base building, but cool." I didn't used to like base building. It was really annoying. After Foundation, I liked it because it was new, and then it got old for me really quick. And then in Atlas Rises, I only built a base that had a very simple purpose, and it was to create circuit boards to become really rich. So I didn't put any effort into the base, and I was able to accrue 2.1 billion units the old-fashioned way, very with great difficulty and immense amount of time. And but I didn't really give a shit about that base. And then after Next dropped, I was so like disenfranchised with base building that I didn't build anything. And then later, after all the patches and everything, just before the Abyss, uh, or no, it was actually after the Abyss. I was like, you know what? Let me start building something. And then I started building, realized how easy it was now to get the materials that you need to build and the quantities that you need to get it in. And then with the amount of base building parts, just how unique and crazy you can make things. And now I'm kind of hooked, man. I don't want to stop building. I just kind of want to fly around and keep building things.
Hmm. I kind of have that. I enjoy building. And if I have a template or an idea what I want to build, I have a lot of fun with it. My problem is that I really, and people laugh at me when I say this, but I really have almost zero creativity as far as like just bringing things out, in my head. Like, again, if I have a template or something like that, and I have an idea of what I want to do before I go into it, I can really get into it and really enjoy it. If I don't, um, it's almost painful how much I want to do it. I just can't, and so I get awestruck when I see people like Boyd and some of the creative builders around here when I see them do what they do, and it's like it's foreign to me because I think I have more of a mathematical brain, I guess, um, rather than a feel for the aesthetic. I can appreciate it and I know what's good when I see it, but creating that's just a totally different thing for me.
It'd probably be pretty hard to imagine, but Fiji I built with almost no planning, other than the fact that I've seen these huts that they have in Fiji and stuff, and how they go over the water. And just that mental image alone, I was able to sort of uh, zoom out and then put together Fiji. I used no template. I didn't think about it in advance. I just kind of winged it, and it just took shape. And I think
Yeah,
for you, it actually, if you started it, I think it would do the same thing. I think if you started something and just sort of took your time and just kind of let it extrapolate itself, you'd probably fucking come up with something cool.
Yeah, I mean, I do that. I'm able to do that from time to time. The base that I have back in Bonesync, um, back when it was you know more of a paradise sort of planet that I put down, it really turned out nice, and it kind of did just like you said. I just started building it and just kind of let the creative process happen, and it turned out really well. And I just monkeyed around with it, and I sort of learned how the pieces snap together all at the same time while I was building it. And it was a nice process. But then it just like when I was done, and I went to another planet, tried to build something else, and I hated it. I hated the look of it. I got irritated and angry, and once that happened, it was like, screw it, dude. You're wasting your time. Go hunt some multi tools or some ships or something and have some fun until it sort of happens organically. I think it needs to happen organically. If it doesn't, then I mean, for me, I can't just force it to happen. You know. And I mean,
Right.
I
It's
admire people who can. I really do. I admire the people who can do that just like at will, just sort of just pull stuff out of their ass, for lack of a better explanation.
Yeah, Hidden does that all the time. Like he'll start a base and just start like fumbling around, and then next thing you know, he's got like a fully realized like construct, and it's just like, okay, dude, I see you.
Don't push me, dude. I'm right on the edge.
I'm just gonna take a moment to take a quick screenshot of this.
Oh yeah.
All right, 1 second. I'll go one more. Back up a bit. It looks like you're floating. Like when you're kind of off the edge of it.
All right. How's that?
Perfect.
Better?
Yep. Funny Imp says, trying one more time, guys. That was Hidden earlier, and that was his go around. Which he's gonna come back. He's gonna be a much bigger part of the channel here in the coming weeks. Where he's at has really pissed poor internet, and he's just not really able to stream, except for in a super low resolution. If you guys were following his stream today, even at 320p or whatever it was, which is like just ridiculously low, it still went out on him. So he's out in a rural area, and that's just the best that he's got. But he's going to be moving in a couple of weeks. Him and his fiance, and they're going to have a much stronger internet connection where they're going, and we're going to see Hidden here a lot more frequently, sort of like the old days when he was on the channel a lot. So looking forward to that. Tariq says, yeah, then they cheat making base parts and all new updates. That's true. They keep adding them. And Funny Imp says, that's how I did my build, Panda. I was just like, let's do this. How about one of these? Oh, will this work? That's true, dude. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh shit, I just built something. And then Ryder says, I have base building brain freeze right now. Oh, dude, that's a bummer, man. I get like that, though. I really do. I get like sort of like writer's block, but with base building. I'm like, oh. Sort of like Slade's talking about. Sometimes you just need like an inspired moment, and then you're good to go. And we got Ivy Mike in the chat. Ivy Mike says, hey, yo. What's going on, Ivy
What
Mike?
up, Ivy?
Slade, you watch Ivy? You know about Ivy, right? You watch Ivy Mike.
You know what? I don't. I haven't. I've put my streaming viewing time down to a pretty bare minimum, actually. Um, Unfortunately, I'm sure it'd be worth the look. I just finding the time to do it is really really difficult for me. I've been doing a lot of work and a lot of the spare time that I do have, I tend
Oh
to
yeah,
spend
of course.
flying through the
Well,
galaxy.
and that wasn't to put you in the spot. I was just curious. Ivy Mike streams a lot of No Man's Sky, but he streams other games. And the other day he was streaming some, I think, Star Citizen, and I forgot what he called. Like the stream was called something of the Euclid Galaxy or whatever. So it was like It was like a No Man's Sky sort of like thing, but it's hard to explain. But no, Ivy Mike's a good streamer, and you should definitely check him out. Like if he's live and you've got a second to check it out, check it out. He's a sick streamer. Um,
Will do. Will do.
like and he's OG. Like he's a No Man's Sky like YouTuber from like way back. You know what I mean? Like he's one of the real ones. You know?
Nice. Launch player.
Yep. Just an actual No Man's Sky fan. Not somebody who's like, oh, the game's popular now, so I need views. No, he's been covering it when everyone hated the game.
That's cool.
And we've
That's
got
cool because it took a special type of person. I don't know. I hate to categorize anybody, but the game just wasn't for everybody at launch. That's for sure. For me, it was totally. It had me sucked in from day one. I didn't notice honestly until I had done everything to do in the game that that it had shortcomings. And what it did have I easily overlooked and sort of forgave. Not that I even felt like there was anything to forgive, but I know I recognized some of the things, but I didn't see them as shortcomings. I saw it as potential. I saw it as a really
people
great skeleton that was eventually
exactly.
going to have a lot of flesh put on it. And that's
People have
exactly what they're doing.
a lot of misconceptions about No Man's Sky and a lot of unfair judgments. This game is using a technology that's really experimental and with a team that's very small. So, like a developer that like the one that's making Star Citizen, they've got more people on their team. They're using a lot of pre-baked assets that are very high res, and all that kind of stuff. Like the graphics are better in a way. They're different, and the game in its scope is larger. How you traverse space and all that's very different, but the technology is different. There's very few games out there that are entirely procedurally generated at this level. There's still only like
Hmm.
6 people, 7 people working on this game. And when you look at what it's like now versus what it was like at launch, it's kind of. I think
It,
that this what we have now would have never happened if that launch didn't happen. You know what I mean?
you know, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think it was nothing short of a major coup for the fact that this game is even on the market right now. I think there's a lot of corporate behind the scenes stuff going on. I mean, again, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I think it was almost that if they had waited much longer and done what they needed to do to put out a quote unquote finished game, they wouldn't have gotten their opportunity. It would have been stolen. It would have been taken away from them by the corporate giants. I really, really believe that. And
Or
I think they sort
it would
of,
have been monetized in a way that, like for example, yeah, everybody loves Super Smash Brothers, but at the Video Game Awards, they were talking about Super Smash Brothers before the game even really came out. It was coming out at like midnight that night, and they were talking about having DLC characters already, like at launch. These companies are like, they're not even waiting anymore to like release DLC, right? They're dropping the games right out the box with DLC. And I think a similar treatment would have taken place with No Man's Sky had it launched with success and been popular. They would have been finding a lot of different ways to monetize that crowd. Because I want to say like on day one there was 250,000 concurrent players. It was like the biggest like release ever or something like that. At least in 2016. It just had
mhm.
an obscene amount of like concurrent online players, and had the game been a success, I think that it would have been overly commercialized and just become another Fortnite, and but in space. But I think the game like sort of taking a hard hit, having a busted launch, getting a lot of criticism, people hating it, and then them sort of unifying around a small community that really loved the game, and then listening to that community, they were able to develop something far better than. And I said this in a video a week ago. that No Man's Sky today is not the game that Sean Murray wanted to release. It's not the little sci-fi lonely experience that he dreamt of. It's a very different game. It's a game that's reflective of the community that supported it from launch. And this is for us. And it's it's the reason this game exists is because launch was a failure. And so I would never travel back in time and hope that anything was different. I would have it go exactly the same way, because this is revolutionary, and they're going to get their credit one way or another. History is going to look back at Hello Games as sort of setting a precedent. That's why 2.5 years after the game came out, it's on the same list as other major AAA titles for best ongoing game. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
when you're a small indie developer with 8 people that you employ, and you're getting listed up there with Destiny 2 and Fortnite and some of those other games, you're winning in my book.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. To me, the game is, it feels like I'm involved in an exclusive club, that not a lot of people know about or want to be involved in even, and I'm not sure I want them to.
Yeah,
Not, I know that maybe it sounds elitist or something like that, but really it's more just my nerd coming out, embracing the nerd in me because yeah, I don't know what it is. It feels like nothing against Fortnite. I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying a good AAA title. God knows I've played my share of them, but there's something special about belonging to, a very like sort of small club of people who know what you're talking about, that get it when you're talking about No Man's Sky and the experiences that you can have there, the different things you can do. Um, it's just nice to know that someone gets it, you know, um, because not everybody does. You want to share that. Like I want to share that with a lot of people, and they look at me and they kind of cock their head a little bit and like, what do you do? How do you beat the game? Well, you don't beat the game. It's an experience. It's not necessarily a game that you win or lose. It's just, you know, it's like, how do you explain that to somebody?
exactly.
You say
Well,
it's the
and
closest thing you can come is you can say, well, it's like Minecraft. You know?
right.
Oh, okay. Then people kind of get it, but
Okay, this is the first time that I've seen a chromatic planet that was a lush planet. It's a black and white lush planet, and it's actually really fucking cool.
is
Uh,
that Unpleasantville?
Unpleasantville, yeah. Like for me, a lot of people who like Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen, it's more of the adult sci-fi game, right? It's more of the sort of grounded in reality as you understand it as an adult. And I think No Man's Sky was created for the kid in us, right?
Hmm.
The kid that thought about sci-fi before they had an understanding of the world. That in your mind you could jump in a spaceship and fly to any planet and land on it, and there would be creatures and there would be, all these different things before we learned about gravity and how it works and string theory and fucking relativity and all this other kind of stuff, right? This is, I
Hmm.
think, this is the child's fantasy. This game, and a lot of us that
Yeah,
like it. Go ahead.
this is the sci-fi pulp fiction book, you know,
Yeah,
that you picked up. It wasn't the Lord of the Rings, but it was, maybe a third of that size, just a little space jaunt where you had, like Edgar Rice Burroughs or something like that, where you just like even the ships, like, and the original artwork was just like something that you'd pick up. There was 50 books, maybe not necessarily well written great books, but they were all in that just captured your imagination, like you said, as a kid, you know.
yeah.
pick that same book apart 30 years later as an adult reading it and go, oh my God, this is just, just, you know, this is not, this is not a well-written work of fiction. But, but as a kid, you just go, wow, it just really piques your imagination to no end. And this game does a great job of capturing that childlike spirit of adventure and what if, you know.
It really does. And I had posted on Twitter, like probably a month ago, ish, and I said that No Man's Sky is not a game. It's that it's that cardboard box Apollo mission you took when you were a kid. You know
Yeah, yeah, well
that's what it
put,
is.
yeah.
This is what was in your head when you were thinking about being an astronaut and an explorer. And those of us that like this game, we all sort of have a similar story like that, or a feeling that we get out of it, and that's why we all tend to get along so well, and that's why our community seems to be so close knit.
Yeah, we got a tight community. I'm digging it. I'm digging the whole vibe. Um, when cafe folks come by and they say, hey, there's not a lot of difference between uh, because cafe, No Man's Sky Cafe is just a fantastic community, and I'm glad to see that sort of tradition. I kind of wanted to model it, and oh my God, this is one of the coolest critters I've ever seen in this game right here. You see this serpent thing and this with the tentacles and the. I'm getting a
No,
screenshot of this.
I'm
Sorry to interrupt, but
no, I'm gonna have to fly over to where you're at. I'm making my way there now. I got to see what you're looking at.
oh, dude, it's a giant like sandworm with tentacles and like I want to see this thing come ripping up out of the ground and swallow something, but instead it's just sort of like hopping along.
So totally off topic, but were you ever a Dune fan?
A Dune fan?
Yeah,
I never read the books. Frank Herbert, right? I never
yeah.
read the books, but I really enjoyed the movies. Which I
Um,
don't know if they made more than one
did you
movie.
like Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner?
I loved it. Yes, I did.
Did you like that movie Arrival?
Which one?
It came out a couple years back. It was called The Arrival. About those.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. It sounds really familiar, but
What about the Blade Runner remake, Blade Runner 2048?
haven't seen it yet.
It's fucking awesome. The reason I'm
We had a
bringing it up,
DVR, and it like disappeared from my DVR. So
oh,
I
you,
think somebody erased it before I had a chance to watch it. I was
oh, holy
bummed.
shit, dude! It's got flared sides like a cobra.
Yeah, and no, look at its eyes, dude. It's got like where the eyes should be. It's got eye stalks. Are you seeing the same
Oh,
thing?
yeah, dude. It's like these things coming out of the eyes with balls on the top.
That's so fucking sick looking. And the fact that
That's
it's monochrome.
that's so weird. I love looking at this tree line with the monochrome. Um, the reason I was asking you about if you were a Dune fan is because the director for the new Blade Runner movie and for The Arrival, who I'm a really big fan of, Denis Villeneuve, he's going to be directing the new Dune movie that's coming out, and he's crushed every movie that he's put out, and I'm really excited for this
Okay,
movie.
wait. You just said new Dune movie?
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve, the guy who made Blade Runner 2048, The Arrival, he's like
Uh-huh.
making these like Oscar nominated sci-fi films. You know what I mean? Like these are like next level.
Right. So you just told me there's a new Dune movie coming out, though. That's
There is,
that's
dude.
what that's like, that's cool as hell.
I don't know if it's going to be a reimagining of the original tale, or holy shit, I just watched you murder that thing, or if
I'm
it's going to
sorry.
be
I had to see how I was gonna die. Sorry,
a
couldn't
sequel.
help myself.
Dude, the way that thing fell down the hill and the way it's like laid out now.
It's like face planted into the ground right now. I don't generally just kill things just for the sheer fun of it, but you know.
Dude, and then there's like these like serpents flying around in the sky. This is a crazy planet. I wouldn't call this Unpleasantville. This is awesome.
God, this is almost like some sort of Tarzan movie.
This is like the kind of thing I've always been looking for in this game. This is what I've been wanting. Every time I play now, I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been wanting to see. Let me catch back up in the chat real quick. We didn't give it any attention for a while.
Oh, sorry guys, that's my fault. I'm gonna
Oh
take
no, not at
responsibility
all.
for it.
Funny Imp says you confused me with that Pirates of the Euclid title for your Star Citizen bit. That's what I was talking about. Pirates of the Euclid. Yeah. Um, which don't worry, Slade. We all know that you're the real pirate of the Euclid. And we got Tariq says we need some revolutionary updates, big but simple. Yeah, Tariq, I really want something that focuses on space exploration. Okay, this color shift that just happened on this planet just went so hard right now. That's badass. Um, I didn't play it day one, but I'm glad they didn't delay the release. I don't think we would have what we do now. Exactly. We were just talking about that. Literally, we're reading each other's minds here. The game now. This would never have happened if the launch went without a hitch. All of that tragedy needed to happen to get this. Um, Tariq says, "Beautiful, good show, jolly good show." Thank you, Tariq. Got J Spot in the chat. J Spot says, "What is up, everyone? What's going on, J Spot?" Kendall Southwick is in the chat. Says, "Greetings, everyone. What's going on, Kendall Southwick? Welcome back." Tariq says, "Search YouTube search Dr. Gordvort. It's amazing. I'll have to check that out. Although I'm kind of scared to look it up." You Are Godsmack says, "This is the game we dreamt of as a kid." That's what I think is the reason why people in the age of 30 to 40 like this game so much. That's true. The really big fans of this game are all 30 up. That's actually a very good observation. It makes a lot of sense why we all seem to be in this age group and seem to be into this game. And it looks like Funny Imps agrees. He says, "I think you're spot on, Godsmack. I completely agree." And then Kendall says, "Just a little playing and lurking at night." There you go.
Right on. That's what I like to do. I like being at work and then hearing Panda saying, "I'm about to go live, guys." And then I go running away from the guys that are bugging the hell out of me and asking me silly questions. And then I just go, "Okay, I'm gonna go over here and do some work on my computer." And then I boot up the Hidden Panda show and I watch that for a while. And they're all like, they're all like, "Dude, I know you're over there watching porn," and I'm like, "No way, way better. I'm watching watching the Hidden Panda show."
Oh, dude, I don't know if I can be compared with that, but man, flattered to say the
Uh,
least. Tariq says space updates. 100%. I think a very large component this game is missing. I think most people will agree with me on this. Is I'd like to see a three-dimensional star at the center of any particular system. I think it'll make space feel more believable. It'll have a different level of immersion and just something to navigate around. It won't be so easy to go from planet to planet. You'll have to bypass a star. And to make that work, they need to add the ability to steer your starship while in pulse drive. The fact that they still haven't added that is really confusing to me. But I have a feeling they're going to do it at some point. And
do you?
oh yeah, and
I
I
hope
think a
you're
lot
right.
of it's
I
going to
hope you're right.
happen in 2.0. I think No Man's Sky, I think they're saving it. I think it's all under test and they're working on it. I have no evidence and it's pure speculation. So don't let speculation become expectation, and don't cry about it if it doesn't come true. But in my opinion, they're working on it and they're testing this stuff right now, and they've got a lot of stuff that they're banking for No Man's Sky 2.0 because that's going to technically be the real big update, the big overhaul that's going to jam the most features. And we're not that far away. We're at 1.77 right now. I mean, 2.0 is around the corner, you know? And I think that 2.0 is going to open up the skybox. It's going to connect the dots regarding space. That we'll be able to traverse from star to star openly. Um, The warp animation will receive an overhaul, something more in line with Elite Dangerous. And I think that stars will go to the center of the systems, and that there's going to be a lot more physics and mechanics involved. Ship customizations are going to be coming. I think
What
that
about
we're going to be
rotating
able to
planets?
that too. True rotation. I mean, there's sort of an animation now, but when you have a star at the center of the solar system and the planet's rotating around it, it's going to be a much more believable sort of day-night cycle with. I just I just have a feeling that's coming. And I've been saying that for a long time and it hasn't come yet, but I think they're saving it for No Man's Sky 2.0. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. You know,
Maybe, but I hope you're right.
me too.
And I don't think, and I don't think I don't think you're far wrong if you are. I don't think you're far off the mark. They're definitely doing stuff.
I thought
It's
about
funny
making a
because
compilation video of all the predictions that I've made that have come true. Because people used to talk a lot of shit back in the when I first started the channel about speculation videos and how it was hurting the community and all this other kind of stuff. Which now in retrospect, those people are eating crow because No Man's Sky was listening. Hello Games was listening to all that shit to overhaul the game and give the community what they've been wanting. So, I don't think it did as much damage as people thought. Maybe at release it did, but
hmm
you know, I made a lot of predictions back in the day, again with no evidence, just trying to think logically of where it could go, and a lot of that stuff came true. So I think that I'm okay at sort of kind of guessing what might be coming next. And again, there's
yeah,
no evidence for it, but it's just looking at what we have and what the next evolution of that could possibly be, and how hard it would be for them to do it. Yeah.
right. And you say there's no evidence, but in a way there is because you see the trajectory of the way things are going, what has been begun, and what they've built on it since release. You kind of see a little bit of the direction that they're going. Maybe nothing specific, but and then we also know that they tend to sort of work toward what the community is asking for and providing that.
Yep.
Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? And then so the next step then is what are people asking for right now that we don't have? We have a lot that we were asking for before. Maybe you even said that it wasn't really the game that Sean Murray had envisioned. He has sort of given into the community as sort of a reward for their loyalty, and so he's given us a lot of what we were basically screaming for, and
Oh yeah.
so we have a lot of that stuff now. So we kind of just look for what are people asking for now? Well, it's a lot of the same stuff that hasn't been added, but then people are coming up with new things to say I got what I wanted. Now what do you want? Okay, well now people are coming up with more stuff, and I don't see any reason for Hello Games to stop paying attention to what the community is asking for. You know?
Oh yeah.
and just providing that.
Well, I think, like you just touched on, I think they've accepted the game. I think they're really excited for what they've been doing. They like what they're delivering, and they're happy that everybody else is liking it. But I think that when Sean Murray goes home at night, or when he goes into his office at the studio, I think that he might throw on the vanilla version of No Man's Sky. I think that's more. To be honest, a lot of people said he broke a lot of promises and he lied, and there was a few things missing, right? But I think, to be honest, the original game was more of a true reflection of what he talked about than the game that we have now. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a big part of him sort of misses the original No Man's Sky experience, and a lot of the community does too. That's why so many people revert back to the vanilla version from time to time, just to get a little jolt of that nostalgia. You know,
Right. Oh, got me some storm crystals, brah.
on
Nice.
Pleasantville.
Yeah, I was taking off. As you know, I think you just lit off, right? So I
Yeah.
went over to my ship and jumped in it. And as I was just launching, the storm popped up, and I just caught some storm crystals out of the corner of my eye. I thought I'd just drop down and grab those real fast.
I did not think that that planet was going to have storm crystals on it. I didn't think it was extreme enough, but I guess I was wrong. I don't know if you know this or not, but stones before the storm, and when the storm occurs, the stones light up, and then there's like lightning. So like,
Yeah, that's the only reason I saw it because it started getting a little bit dark too, right as the
yeah,
storm popped up, and it just they were like lit up. Yeah, and I found that someone had posted some pre-storm crystal formations that had about like stone built around them.
uh-huh.
I'm trying to remember who it was on the FDI amino,
Yep,
and I asked it.
they're in cave.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks cool. And I'd only seen storm crystals once, and that was during a storm, and grabbed some, and then like so I saw that post. I was like, "Well, is that what they looked like before the storm?" He's like, "Yeah."
Oh, this
Cool.
planet has huge rings for the size of this planet, which looks really cool. So, I had a stream where I found storm crystals for the first time, and I completely lost my shit like a little kid. And then I started noticing these like stone pyres like sticking up out of the ground, and I was under the impression at first that whenever a storm occurred, these things would just sort of procedurally and randomly just popped up. But no,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
yeah, they're already on the planet's surface, and then they become activated during a storm, which is a nice touch because it's not what I would expect. It's a really nice touch.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Digging it, and I'm digging these visions colors, man. You know, when well, I sort of had a pretty adverse reaction right after Visions dropped
You
because my
did,
first thing that I did because I saw my base that I had put so much time into, and I was angry because there was now red water, which I had avoided like the plague for my home base planet. I searched and found a nice blue. I know I should want more alien planets to build my bases on, um, but I really didn't. I wanted something Earth-like. And when Visions borked that, I was pissed. And then I was like, okay. So I went exploring, and I just did some exploring. Started looking around, and as I warped, from one system to another, and landed on some planets, looking for my multi tools that I do, how I do, and I started seeing some of the craziest vistas and mixtures of colors and that I hadn't seen before, and just beyond E3 stuff, you know,
wow.
as far as I'm concerned, because now we have both. We have the bright, um, the bright like spot colors, but then we have these subtle, real pastel palettes and mixtures of colors that blend in, and so we have like what the E3 version, then we have the later, I don't know when they introduced it. I don't remember what update it was where they sort of changed the color palettes to the brighter, more more primary type colors. But that's what we had before Visions, and now we have, what it seems like to me is like a mixture of those two. Just a greater variety of all the different colors, brightnesses, and pastels, and I deal with colors every day. I'm a screen printer. I do T-shirts. Um, so I'm mixing colors all the time, and I'm doing these things. So it's sort of my job to know that. I don't know, as much about it as I should probably,
Right.
but I appreciate different hues and colors and things like that. Um, and I guess all these words are just to say that I'm jacked about, the just the spectrum of wild colors and colored mixtures that we have now
Well,
in
I'll
the
tell you
galaxy,
this.
on planets, in space itself.
Oh
When
yeah.
you're warping through and going into different nebulas and stuff like that. Like I just dig the hell out of that.
I mean, I'll tell you this. At first, so when I heard about Visions and then I saw the trailer, and I was like, okay, this is going to be sick, right? And then Remus sends me the picture of the red water on Anya, and how Fiji looked with the red water, which obviously I was using a red tinted wood on my base, so they sort of blended in unfavorably. But I was
Hmm.
actually really sad. Just at face value, looking at that picture, I was like, they fucking ruined it. They ruined Fiji. I was almost finished with that base. They completely destroyed everything. And then I flew there, and I was like, okay, it's not so bad. And then I jumped in the water, and I started swimming around, and I was like, okay, this is pretty fucking awesome. And then I started walking. I flew over to the main continents where everybody else has their bases, and I saw the wheat fields almost, the tall golden grass, and like the yellow sky and like purple and blue flowers. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is awesome. This is I'm good with this. It took me a minute, and I was really upset, but then I was like, no, this is good. I fuck with this.
Yeah. What up, Sword?
Oh shit, we got Sword in the chat. Let me catch up on the chat.
Sword is in the house. What's up, brother?
So we got Tariq says flying a frigate with other players. Players can take control of the gun turret or go there. Yes, Tariq, everything that you just said. Yes, frigates need to become multi-crew ships. Period.
Don't
They
they? I think they do.
they
And
really fucking do.
and along with that, passengers on exocraft would be nice.
Yes.
Hmm.
And then we've got says frigates, not freighters. No, I agree. I agree. I think your crew should freighters should just function the way that they function now. Um, at least for the time being. I think that space is not open enough to make piloting a freighter all that exciting. Um, but the frigates, if the game were to remain how it is right now, the frigates absolutely should become multi-crew ships. That would just be awesome. Kendall Southwick says passengers on exocraft would be nice. That would be nice. Like all four of your, there's no reason why all four of your friends should not be able to hop in a Colossus. Um, Source
See,
says,
I
"What's
thought
up,
that's what they were
guys?"
gonna do with frigates.
That's what I
I thought
thought
that.
too.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? It still might be.
What's going on, Sword? Funny Imp says, "Be back later, guys. About to go eat." Thank you, Funny Imps, for stopping by. I still need to go check out Funny Imp's base. I have not seen it yet. Sword says, "See ya, Funny." Tariq Stark says, "Asteroid belts with asteroid and responsive volumetric smoke particles." All right, now you're just using words I can't fucking spell, Tariq, but it sounds good to me. I'll take some responsive volumetric smoke particles anytime. And everybody's giving Sword some love in the chat, so uh, yeah, big
Well, he
shout out to
deserves it.
Sword, and
He
congratulations
deserves it.
for being featured, Sword. Sword, let me know in the chat if you saw the video, bro. Have you seen it? You were featured in episode 1, okay, of Hub Highlights. Let me know. Did you see it?
Rightfully so.
Did you like it? What do you think? And just to let you know, it was actually a last minute decision because you finally uploaded your base and I was able to see it. I had a different base selected, which that base will end up being featured on episode 2, which is also a really awesome base that deserves no less admiration. But after seeing your base, I was like, oh, this is just way too cool to let pass. So I went ahead and made it episode 1, and I do not regret doing so for a second. He said, hell yeah, loved it, dude. Well, thank you, thank you.
Yep, it was the diggity. Still is.
I
Pretty mind blown.
I had a lot
To see
more
that.
narration that I had recorded for the video, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm just gonna let these builds speak for themselves, and I cut a lot of the narration out of it, and I just added an intro, a little bit of a midsection introducing, going from the FDI capital, and then introducing Sword's base, and then obviously the outro. But originally there was a lot more, I guess, talking planned. but I deleted most of that, and I just let the bills and the music do the talking. And I hope I selected some good music. So.
Sounded great. I don't know what these tiny little critters are. I can't even see them except for when they're on my scanner. Have you seen these yet, Panda?
Uh-uh.
So you use your scanner. There are these really tiny critters. You can't even see them unless I finally got they're whipping around. Um, I finally got one actually scanned. Like they're absolutely invisible, other than to your scanner. That's how small they are, and they're quick.
And their actual fauna?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, they're Oakshum, anomalous animals.
That's crazy. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to come look for that at some point.
Okay, now they're just sitting here on the ground. I'm walking right up to it with my scanner on, so I can see the little green dot, and now it just bailed when I got up close
Yeah,
to it. Without the scanner on, you can't even see it. It's virtually invisible.
that's crazy.
Yeah, bizarre. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, not at all, man.
This is a cool planet. Look at all these jacks. This is like it's jacked with jacks.
Jackson Jacks, yeah, there is tons of them. Dude, I've not really taken a distant look at the system like this at our cluster of regions here. But good lord, is this thing starting to get speckled with discoveries?
For real.
Wow. One second.
Space pirate fleet missions. Hell yes. I'm down with that, Tariq. I'm an old pirate from way back.
Hello?
Yo, yo.
Sorry, I didn't know if you were talking to me. I had disappeared for just a moment.
Oh no, I was just answering. Tariq says space pirate fleet missions. Now he's speaking my language right there. I was just commenting on that. And then Sword says, got my headset on if you want some more in the party chat.
100%. I'm adding you now. I'm also going to recall. I've been seeing a lot of talk of recall and the FDI amino, and I've never actually gone to visit. And I'm going to go visit now. That's Marty Merrick, right? Is recall? All right, guys. Sorry for the blue screen. We're getting sword in the chat here.
No worries. I'll just sing a little song, keep people busy.
Oh,
Yo, yo, what's up, my brother?
not much, man. How y'all guys doing?
Pretty
You know,
good, dude.
looking at these cool jack formations on this planet. I'm still here. Panda bailed on me, but I'm still just digging these pinks and blues on this planet. Very, very
Here,
cool.
here we go. Marty Merrick system. We are in recall.
Is it total recall or just partial?
It's 5% recall.
5%. Sounds like me. It's the short-term memory that goes first, they say.
Not the Arnold recall. It's the what's his name? Colin Farrell recall.
That was pretty good too, though. But it did bother me that the movie didn't take place on Mars. That
Yeah.
was a little bit of a letdown. But
Yeah. It's usually how it goes with remakes.
Well, I'm excited about what you're telling me, the Dune movie. Now I got to look into that, man. Especially if it's, going to be well done by that director you're talking about. The director?
yeah, Denis Villeneuve, like yeah, he's making the new Doom movie, and I'm telling you, if he's involved, it's gonna be sick. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
See, I can't take movie advice from somebody who wants to see Detective Pikachu, dude.
Dude, Detective Pikachu looks good, man.
Sword just gets it right in there, doesn't he?
Oh,
Just saying it like it is.
Remus comes to get you with a weapon. I know you with the whips, man.
Dude, come on, man.
Oh, I'm just joking, dude.
I'm
Detective
not joking.
Dude, Detective
I'm with Sword
Pikachu.
on this one.
Dude, it looks fun and endearing. Come on,
See, the
give
cool thing
in.
about it is Panda's in that age group that kind of caught the tail end of what was it? Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I was like coming out of where that was cool about time it started coming out and getting popular. So I never really got into the Pokemon as heavily as some kids a little younger than me.
I mean, I wasn't like
Yeah.
into Pokemon, but I like the idea of the movie. Like, I just like it. That's all there
Yeah,
is to it.
There you go. There you go. Own that
there you
shit,
go.
brother.
Yeah,
Nothing to
I'll
be
take it.
ashamed of.
I'm into it. We got Tariq
Hey,
says Space Pirate Fleet missions. Ooh, Anthem gameplay video is out. Damn, it can wait. But
oh,
uh,
bro.
people were worried about Anthem, and then all of a sudden, dude, some more information came out about it, and people were right back on board. They're like, this game's going to be sick, and I hope it is. I got a lot of hope for Anthem. I think it's going to be a really fun game. Ooh, we got a base here, guys. Marty Merrick's base. Let's see what's going on.
Quake.
Colehagen, get on the chopper.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sword, I
looking
just
for it.
found.
Go ahead.
I found some cave marrow for you.
Nice. You hush
Marrow
that crap
bulb.
about cave marrow or marrow bulb. Shh, y'all be quiet. Don't even say marrow bulb, guys.
I just collected a bunch of marrow bulb.
Frickin' Sean Murray and the crew will hear us talking about marrow bulb, and we'll be making ion batteries with it again.
No.
Oh my god, guys. You just don't know, man. When TOG come out with those harvester farms with like the 50 atmospheric harvesters at the base locations.
Yeah, the gas farms. Yeah.
Yeah. I got the bright idea that I was gonna put pass the red in chat. Sort comes into my chat party and this is the Cuddy Panda Bear guys. That's no, brother. It's all in good fun. No, but I said, well, crap, I'm gonna do some of that over near the area I was in the Amino, and so like I spent like 3 days solid farming marrow and crafting voltaic cells, because you had to have voltaic cells and acid and some other components to make the atmospheric harvesters. Went into next with a hauler completely full of voltaic cells to come and find out you can make the frickin' things with doggone cobalt and ferrite dust now.
Yep. Very, very easy.
Have either of you guys seen Marty's base yet on Recall?
I have.
The
one that goes underwater.
From the moment that you land, you know that you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I haven't been back there for a while. I don't know if my comms ball. Tell me if my comms ball is still over there. But yeah, we did some cave exploration. He took me on an underground cave exploration that I don't know. We must have been hour and a half. Maybe it just seemed that way. It could have been longer. But those caves under there go for what seems like miles. That was before you had the extra jetpack, so we were just going real slow. but yeah, really cool. We had a good old time. That was the first time I got a chance to hang out with Marty. He's a good old boy.
Heck yeah, I think I jumped on with him and Starkwolf one night and hung out over there.
Yeah, good guys, man. We got a good group. There's
We
no
do.
question about
Yeah,
it.
Is his base in the cave underground?
I believe
Uh,
you.
it's well, the main part of it is just sitting right there. You land and
Oh
then you can
my
go
God.
down.
Oh my God. It is deep. The
Yeah,
water is deep here. Holy shit.
and cold. That reminds me of a joke, bathroom joke. But anyways, guys, I gotta jump off of here. I gotta get going.
Oh
Gotta get
man,
some shut eye.
sword hops on a slate bounces. Man, I see
No,
how it
I
is,
was glad to
brother.
see it. I didn't want to bail. No, I didn't want to bail on Panda. It's like my wife's she's in bed and she'd give me a look, so I gotta keep the wheels greased a little bit, if you know what I mean.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, I know you do. You're dealing with some of the same things, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, I know them looks. Like yes,
I
dear.
was I, I was just wishing it was Friday because I could have a couple of drinks and hang out for around 3 or 4 more hours, really. But
Oh, dude, I gotta
one
work
more.
Saturday.
Oh, that sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Marty, this is exceptional.
Mm,
Wow.
holy moly, that thing is sweet.
Wow. I should have checked this system out sooner.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty
And
dope. He knows what he's doing with the underwater builds and stuff. And most of this stuff he did before they came out with all the underwater parts.
yeah, I was going to say I think I stopped by and seen it before Abyss dropped.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Panda, big shout out to you for that video, dude. Awesome what you done with that base I built. Great editing, dude.
Oh, I appreciate it. That was a great base build, man.
Oh man,
Phenomenal.
I was very well pleased. I seen that and I was like, oh crap, he's at my base.
That
Yeah,
wasn't the
I was
original
impressed.
plan. That was a last minute decision. You finally uploaded it, and I was able to see it. And then I was like, okay, this has to be featured.
Well, I do appreciate it, man. Very awesome of you.
And
Oh, Hidden Jew.
share that video with your subscribers, man. Let them see, man, what you built over in the FDI, man.
Oh, definitely. Actually, literally, I was racing home when Hidden was streaming. I just left work and realized I didn't get the notifications that I didn't even get the notification for this stream. I just actually happened upon it when I opened up my YouTube, and I was like, okay, let's check out Hidden, man, and see how he's doing. And then he said something about joining the party chat, and I'm like, dude, man, I wished I could, but I'm like, freaking driving,
Oh
staring at
yeah.
taillights halfway there, and I
Speaking of
think
Hidden, speaking of Hidden, he just popped in and said, "Yo, family, what's
what
going
is
on?"
up, buddy? But yeah, I was
Yeah, he was
literally at
having.
the gas station filling up my car and getting a soda for in the morning, man, and was like 15 minutes from the house when he crashed that last time, and I was like, oh crap.
It was good to see him though, but that's why he hasn't
Heck
been able
yeah.
to stream a whole lot the last few months. Is just because where he's at right now. It's just the internet's not that great. It's a rural
That,
area. You know the
yeah.
struggle, Sword. You kind of.
Oh yeah, I've been there, brother. I've been there.
God
Well, he's moving
damn.
now. He's getting to the point where he'll be able to be on a lot more, from what I understand. So that's going to be awesome.
Looking forward to it, brother. Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
All right,
I'm a
Jeff.
fan of Hidden's, man. I like when he streams. I'm an actual fan of when he streams. So
Very cool. Yeah, it's good stuff. It was cool hanging out with him. I was hanging out the FDI, just kind of checking to see if the interior was going to load up for me. Double checking that, and making sure everything was going to be kosher. The next thing I know, I leave to go to get a snack in the kitchen. I come back and I hear him, I hear him streaming. He's on the he had joined Pidstain, and we ended up with the ambient, joining of games. I hear him talking through the TV and kind of freaked me out a little bit. It was a ghost in the machine, I thought, you know. So I hopped on and I bombed his show for a little while and then I bailed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh
All
man,
right, gentlemen.
Kendall says
Take it
Thursday
easy,
is his
Slade.
only day off from work, man. Slade, dude, have a great night, brother.
Hey, y'all do the same. Thanks for putting up with me once again. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for kicking off the stream and helping me showcase the Capitol building on a live stream. So appreciate that.
My pleasure. Meal time. I will talk to you soon. And by the way, just a quick note: when I get those T-shirts off and rolling tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, dude.
I'm gonna bribe my art guy with a bottle of his choice if he can get him to me by Christmas. So, I don't like my chances, but I'm gonna I'll do what I can.
That would be awesome.
We'll talk to you.
Take it easy.
All right, dude. See ya.
Oh, this is just too cool, man. I don't know if you got a playback of the stream going, Sword, but man.
Yeah, I'm like probably 15, 20 seconds behind you. Awesome base, dude.
Marty Merrick, man. Or as I call him, Marty Manprint.
But yeah, man, to get back talking about hidden stream, I don't think it was as much as the internet connection. Because like I said, I got like excellent internet connection, and I've had some crash issues with people joining my lobby in the last couple weeks.
Well, and he did warn me about that. Like he was trying to get me to join in on his game because he's not as likely to crash, and I was persistently telling him just to join on my game because I was already where I wanted to be at, And he joined my game in like 3 or 4 times, like before he even went live, because I had to go do run some errands today. It crashed like 3 or 4 times, just like you said it would.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's brutal, man. I don't know what's going on with it. They need to optimize it a little bit more with the updates, or what's going on with it. Because I know I had a couple people pop in over the weekend on my lobby, and it glitched out and crashed. I believe Funny Imps hopped in last night. I was giving him a lift over to the center of the galaxy on the permadeath, and when he joined, it just automatically booted him back out. I went in and changed a few settings. I think I had my multiplayer off or something was causing it, but I ain't real sure if it might have something to do with how you show online or whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely something they may need to look into.
Oh, this is glitching out hard because this was built before all the redone stuff with underwater base parts.
Oh man,
this was literally causing the game to freak out just now.
Yeah, you get them high complexity bases, man. You start getting a little fuzzy.
I feel like
a few frames here and there.
He probably had to put down a few base computers to get this to work. Because this thing is actually pretty massive. It's kind of hard to believe it's all loading in for me. It's huge. I mean, I don't know if
I think Funny Imps dropped by my PID stain base, and I got up this morning on my way to work and read the comment he made in the amino about praying and promising to be a better person every time you visit Sword's base. Hoping the game don't crash on you.
Oh, dude, yeah, the pit stain base, man. That thing, just with the sheer amount of lights and everything on it too.
Dude,
it's a bad day.
If you ever get the opportunity, catch me on one day and can jump over. I'll jump over to the amino hub at the amino prime base. Oh my goodness, guys. That thing drops down to about 10 frames a second when I'm in it.
Jeez.
I don't think I've been been back to that base in a month. It is massive. It's actually it's got 48 biodomes as compared to the 36 at Pidstain.
And where's that one at? Amino Hub?
At Amino Prime, yeah.
Jesus. 48.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing was that was my project right there, because it was right after I tried to do the freighter complexity test and seen how quickly it failed. I said, well, I'm gonna get a lift over to the Amino Prime system, and I'll build like this massive base and see how much complexity the game can stand on the PS4. And yeah, I couldn't put down another light on that base and still not crash. So you don't walk very fast through it. You run, you might crash. You just gotta walk real slow.
This landing padding. Oh, that is weird. Uh-oh. My landing gear's stuck.
Oh man.
What do you got going on over here now? Ooh.
Awesome.
I've never actually seen that happen before, where the landing gear gets stuck down like that. That is really strange. Ooh. Hey. Who left?
Have you done
Martin
done
Merritt.
much of the community event?
I've not done any of the community event. I'm going to, but just
Oh
I haven't
man.
done it yet.
Yeah, I loaded in. I was actually in the system hunting that Black Explorer when I shut it down last night. So I loaded in today in that same system, and I guess through where you travel through the portal, it don't activate the community event until you return to your home planet or the planet you departed from.
Right.
So I haven't even seen it yet.
There's Slade's combo.
Awesome.
No lifeguard on duty.
Nice. Yeah, I've literally
Yeah,
I've
Ryder.
maxed out my extreme survival on use your ship floating.
Yeah, dude, because of the that's a Venus flytrap. Holy shit! I was wondering what was causing damage. See, I got so used to seeing only whipping plants. Now that there's new ones, it's like
Oh yeah. I get nervous when I hear them little plant or the fauna or the flora that expels the toxic gas.
Mm-hmm. How they like expand.
Yeah, well, I mean they make a noise, and like I've run up on them playing and hear the noise that they make, and can't. Yeah, I'm looking around like, where's it at? Where's it at? I gotta get away from it. You know.
Dude, and they actually deal a lot of damage. If you get hit by a couple of them, you're pretty
Oh
wrecked
yeah.
by the end of it, dude.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
they get you. Oh, ooh, down, 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 down. This planet has ridiculous caves. Just
Oh man, I'm
ridiculous.
checking it out now. It's awesome, dude. I like that fauna or the underwater fauna or flora
Mm-hmm.
that does that little light plasm through it.
Yeah, that is cool. Like the plant stuff. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
Dude, I thought Anya had deep water, but this water is like deep like everywhere. It's just deep.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
It's definitely a very good planet for that base.
Yeah, it is. Holy shit. And I feel bad that I haven't actually come and checked the system out because I always seen Marty post about recall and in the amino and stuff like that, and you know, there's the amount of bases that have been popping up lately. It's growing quicker than I thought it would, and I just hadn't taken some time to between live streaming and editing videos and stuff. I haven't taken a whole lot of time to
Yeah.
come over here and check it out. I'm glad I finally got to see it. It's unbelievable, man.
Heck yeah. Well, with the time differences with you and him, man, it's probably kind of hard to catch him and get by and visit with him and stuff.
Oh, where's he
I think you're
located
about
at?
7 hours. I believe Marty is across the pond. I think he's about 7 hours ahead of you,
Oh wow. So he's in
if
the
I'm not
UK.
mistaken. I could be wrong.
Tariq says we need some giant whales. What do you think about that?
Giant whales for the underwater,
Hmm.
would love it. Space whales, nah. Yeah, I think some like make them like rainbows, really really rare. Like you might have to visit and explore 100 planets and 100 oceans
Right.
to see like a really large underwater fauna. But yeah, I think adding some unique fauna to some of these planets and like making the generation extremely rare would add so much character to the game.
I think Tariq is right, man. Like large underwater whales, or just something creepy. Hidden was telling me about how he was playing Subnautica, and this like Reaper thing underwater came for him. There's like called
Oh
a
Lord.
Leviathan Reaper or something like that. Stuff
Huh.
like that that kind of makes the game sort of. There's like moments of like terror and fear, because some planets like you just like they're like pretty. You start to get kind of overconfident. You want to do some exploring, and then you end up at some place you really shouldn't be, and next thing you know, something bad there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I mean, I believe they were talking. I was watching some of Zane's World, one of his what do you call it, update coverage or edited coverage of the this last update,
Right.
talking about the corrupted Sentinels having an adjusted health bar now, to where they're a little bit more difficult. I'm kind of looking forward to catching a few of those this week. So I was talking about it the other day. We was talking about the corrupted Sentinels, and I run across a few of them myself, but they were just as easy to kill as the Sentinel drones. They just had a different look about them, and I'm like, what's so what's so nice about them? If they're that easy to kill, I
Right.
think we I think we could do with some more uh, threatening uh, adversaries on the game, but it be something like the corrupted Sentinels that you actually have to go to a planet that will have them and do something that will cause them to attack you.
Did you see that in the patch notes for this update that they fixed an issue with the Sentinels and made them harder?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was talking about, them corrupted Sentinels.
Oh, that's what they're called, corrupted Sentinels. Okay.
Yep.
I still think that they should have like soldiers, like bipedal, like humanoid type
Oh, that would be
Sentinels
awesome.
to fight.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that. I think that would be freaking awesome to see. Man, this is such a pretty planet. It's a shame to leave. Oh, and he's got another base in this system. Oh, Agent Tomcat's base.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see
I
that.
think it was Tomcat and Stark instead of Mark up with that night. But they were out there showing me all the bases and stuff.
I didn't realize there
Very,
was
very
so
much
many
cool views.
bases.
yeah, man.
that we had in FDI, man. I saw the few that we had on Onion. I thought that was, that we had, we had a good amount of people in the Amino. There was that many people in the Amino that were building bases, because the galaxy map doesn't correctly like show all the discoveries all the time. You kind of just have to know where you're going sometimes. So to like see that there's this many bases, like holy shit.
Yeah, I know. When you go in the galactic map, you can scan for contacts, and it'll put contact under systems that people have been to. It's not necessarily systems that have bases with them, but like say if I land in a system nearby you, um, and do some uploading or upload the system or scan and discover some stuff,
Right.
that when you do the contact scan, it should show as a contact in the galactic map, and that when you visit, you'll start seeing, either the system discovered by sword, or the when you're scanning plants or fauna or whatnot, you'll see that it was discovered by sword. But sometimes you'll run across bases.
Huh.
I believe right before next drop, I actually run across sad thing, like I can't remember the player's name it was, but it was a Amino Hub member, and I actually run across one of his bases that he built on this lush blue planet, bluegrass lush planet, and it was the first base that I found organically, that I didn't already know existed or didn't see about it in the, that wasn't in a name system or anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just like warped to a system and seen a beacon, and flew down and seen it was a player base. I thought that was like, I got really excited over it. And there's Pwn Stream. Hello, buddy.
Oh, we got P1 stream in the chat.
Yeah, buddy. Tariq says space whales too. So he's hoping to see a planet full of corrupted sentinels attacking wildlife. I would definitely would. I would like. I've been tinkering around with the idea, of how they could add to the lore or work those corrupted sentinels into the lore. We've been talking. I think it was either me or you, or on one of my streams, was talking about uh, like having a new adversarial species or race.
Yeah, that was us. We were talking about that. I think on
Yeah.
your stream. Yeah.
And what I think would be like would be really, really cool. It wouldn't be an adversarial race per se against us. That it would be an adversarial race against the Atlas, and that the corrupted Sentinels were them hacking into the Atlas control of the Sentinels and using them to do their bidding, and then there'd be some kind of conflict between them and the Atlas. The Atlas is trying to shut them down or stop them from what they're doing, and that we are offered the choice either to assist the Atlas or to assist the adversarial or the opponent to the Atlas. I think that would be something.
It kind of goes into that faction play that Sean Murray talked about early on,
Yeah.
where you're kind of picking sides. So you may even have to go up against other travelers.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea.
I think, yeah, because even that, and say you choose the adversarial side or the adversarial faction to the Atlas. Say when you do that, you start where peaceful systems where the Sentinels are relaxed or normal. That when you go into those systems, that all the Sentinels are actually frenzied because you have chosen to side with the adversarial race. You know, there would be consequences to your choices.
Right. I fucking love that idea.
Well, heck
It
yeah, man.
the game the
Nothing wrong
game
with the
needs
speculation.
not at all, dude. Like I've always said, dude, and at the risk of sounding redundant, don't let speculation become expectation, man. That's been my tagline for like a year now, man, or more.
Oh man, yeah, I've adopted that one myself, man.
Just
Definitely,
too many
definitely.
people are too susceptible to hype, or they come up with their own idea of what they think should happen, and then when that thing doesn't happen, they get mad. And it's like, but no one said that but
Yeah.
you. That was your
Oh, I
idea.
know, I know. Well, I've had several people ask me in the past, past few streams, do you think we'll get another major update before Christmas? And I'm like, guys, there's no evidence whatsoever that they're going to give us any more content updates anytime in the near future. You know, we're taking the timetable between you know, we had the release of the game, and then it was 6 months later, 3 or 6 months later, we got another content update, and then between Atlas Rises and Next, it was almost a year had passed. Between update, major content updates, and then we get one update a month after the last update, and people start expecting that we're getting updates on a monthly basis. You know what I mean?
Right. But as long as you're having fun, right? As long as it's all in the name of fun, that you're having fun speculating, that you're curious and you're taking guesses because you find it interesting, right? That's
Hmm.
one thing. But then you have that person out there where it's like, even though everyone's on the same page, like, hey, we're guessing, we're just playing around here, we don't know for sure, but their hopes get built up, they take it serious, and then those are the loudest ones. Those are the ones
Oh
that
yeah, man.
start screaming and
Panda told me we was gonna have, this, that, or the other, or Sword told me
hmm
we was gonna have this, that, or the other. You know, I'm that's yeah, man. I'm with you. It's just it's a line you gotta walk when
hmm
you provide do any content like this. It's just
well,
I
it was like
strongly
a. Do you follow Mac Vorda?
I do.
So I'm subscribed to his channel, and I watch his content as frequently as possible. But he had made a prediction that turned out not to be true, and he had apologized. Obviously to save himself any heartache that would cause by sort of getting people hyped up on something that didn't end up happening. But I don't really think that Max should have had to have apologized because he made it
Yeah,
very clear from video after video after video that it's a prediction, that he's taking his best guess, but it's that fear
exactly.
that people are going to take it, out of context, where his first instinct is to apologize for making a prediction. It's a prediction.
Yeah.
There's a 50-50 chance you're right, you know?
Oh, I agree. And like I said, when you make speculations like that, you sometimes you run the risk of catching some backlash. But
Yeah.
as you say, and as I say, when we make speculative comments, we are we're very very uh, what's the word, upfront that it's speculation before we even say it.
Yeah.
People's, that way you put that disclaimer out there. Say, hey, this is just my opinion or my thoughts or my speculation or something I would love to see. Not, yeah, this is what we're getting. You know what I mean?
Right.
And and I hope that I know a lot of the people that hang out, watch the stream, and a lot of them is the same people that hang out and watch your stream. Are grown up enough to know when we get in here and get to talking about things that we would love to see, that it's Hello Games don't just watch streams and start making content on the speculation.
Right. I mean, I think to a degree that some of the speculation from the community gets picked up by Hello Games. They see that there's a desire for it, and then that might give them some inspiration. And I think that a certain degree of speculation is healthy for the community. If the people that are doing it are reasonable, responsible, and are able to handle, speculating.
Yep.
But this channel became known for that. But before it became known for making edited videos or streaming or whatever, this channel got a reputation for making speculation videos. That's the whole thing we were built around, was trying to take a whack at what the fuck was coming next,
Yeah.
And like Hidden said earlier in his stream today, it's become a lot harder now to predict what's going on with No Man's Sky. Before you could make certain assumptions and guesses based on the way that the technology was and the certain limitations that they had. But the game now has basically broken every possible. Like the game was so different and so revolutionary when Next dropped that I think a lot of people were really sort of taken aback. Like, oh, this is big, So now it's a whole lot harder to speculate, because it's like these guys they can really do anything, can't they? But this channel
Yeah.
was known for speculating, and people really had a problem with us, man, and probably still do for that reason. But I never strayed away from saying, look, man, it's on you. Like, I'm telling you that I'm speculating. I'm telling you that it's a
Yeah.
prediction. I'm telling you that I don't have evidence and that I'm guessing. So you either need to tell yourself the same, okay, or don't come at me when you're disappointed that, like, what I thought was going to happen didn't happen. Like, because now you sold yourself.
Yep.
Or as DJ Khaled would say, you played yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I like your Godsmack says, people criticism too much. They only want more and more. Sometimes you have to respect the game as it is. That
Yes.
is the power. And then he follows in a couple sentences later and said, in the old days, we were happy as the game was when it came out. Yeah, I'm completely in agreement with you, our Godsmack. That you know, I played the disc version of it for a few weeks before I ever updated to Atlas Rises, and I was completely in love with the game with the disc version of it. But I just everything everything that we have gotten since this game came out, in my
Yes.
opinion, has been icing on the cake. It's been having your cake and eating it too kind of situations. You know, they delivered a really interesting and very ahead of its time game when
Yes.
we got the PS4 version of No Man's Sky straight off the disc, or even with the day one patch. Um, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. You know, I've seen a lot of people come into the game, after Next, when the PvP got added, thinking it was going to be Fortnite in space, get disappointed with it and quit streaming it. You know, and like I said, they had expectations going into it, thinking that's what they were getting, and then when it didn't pan out to the and like I said, it wasn't at no fault of Hello Games' about what we got. They give us what they intended to give us. We just got our head wrapped around that it was going to be something completely different. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and I still actually, there's still things about the original version that I prefer to this day. Like, I love the way the landscapes are now and how much more realistic that they look, and they're more sweeping and broad. The changes are more gradual, sort of like you'd see in real life. But I have to admit, I do miss the crazy jagged rocks and the natural archways that created some of the best screenshots that have ever graced this game. Some of
Yeah.
the flora, in the vanilla version was just simply incredible, and I still, part of me still misses that game. Like I've always said though, I would never trade this for that game. I think this is a much more complete and in depth and involved game with so many more layers of gameplay to it. It feels larger and triple A. But the original game sort of had like a little a certain vibe to it, and Slade kind of put a finger on it earlier, where we were talking about basically it's like this. There's a certain kind of person that likes Elite Dangerous and that likes Star Citizen. And that type of person is somebody who's more grounded in the reality of today and the science that we know of today and the science
Hmm.
fiction today. A more realistic approach to science fiction. But the people who like No Man's Sky, who are really into it, like me, you, Slade, the people who really live and breathe this game and like all the different aspects of it, it taps into our childhood. It taps into the
Yes.
sci-fi books I read as a kid, the comics, the sci-fi shows I watched, the cartoons. It taps into me pretending to be an astronaut. Like I posted on Twitter, like I said earlier in the stream, I tweeted to Hello Games. I said that No Man's Sky is not a game; it's an experience. It's that cardboard box Apollo 11 mission or Apollo 13 or whatever mission that you took when you were a kid. It's that pretend sci-fi
Yeah.
exploration, that's what we tap into when we play No Man's Sky. And it takes a certain kind of person to get that. And that's why the people that play this game that get it and it grabs them, we all seem to get along and we all seem to be so close. And I think that's really what brings this community together and makes it so different than most of the communities out there because this game is tapping into to the essence of my childhood. I
Yeah.
get that feeling again. I don't feel like an adult when I play No Man's Sky. I feel like I did as a child. That sense of wonder and amazement and just wanting to see and discover everything and ask questions of the universe. It I know that was like fucking extra deep and shit like that, but like that to me that's what it is.
That's all right. It's the deep thought hour on the Hidden Panda show, guys. Fun, Funny imps in the chat says, hell yeah, can understand how young gamers are spoiled with all the DLC and patches and all that. It is what it is now, but what gets me are the journalists. A lot of these journalists have been gaming for 20 years or more, and they seem to have forgotten how there was a time when a dev released a game. That was it. They had one chance to wow us and get it right. Yeah, you're completely right.
One hundred
Funny
percent
imps. I
right.
mean, I remember when the entire game come on a cartridge you had to blow out before you put it in your Nintendo. You know, and that was enough. You played it. You played it, and some of them were more challenging than others, and then you found a way to beat it. You put it up, found another game, and then you get this nostalgic period where you say, "Hey, I want to play that game again," and you pull it back out of the shoebox you had up in top shelf of the closet, and dust it off and stick it back in and play it some more. You know, now don't get me wrong, you spend a lot more on the games now, but yet, well, then again, you spend a lot more on the DLC as well. But it's crazy now with all the technology we have in gaming that I believe we've become more spoilt uh, with the DLC and the updates and stuff like that we can't just appreciate it for what it is.
Oh yeah. Well, and Funny Imps kind of touched on something when it came to the journalist about gaming and stuff. This might be a conspiracy theory, but to me, I believe this to be relatively true. Um, I feel that a lot of the hate that happened with No Man's Sky in the beginning was assisted and perpetuated by a lot of the gaming industry. If you think
Oh yeah.
about what No Man's Sky represents, right? If you think about what Hello Games represents to the industry, what it says is six guys in a closet in Guildford, England, can build a universe that millions of people can play, that's practically infinite and has no shortages of experiences for players, that they can add to it, that they can expand it, that they can create new content and update it, right? And if you think about what that means for studios that have hundreds of employees or thousands of employees that spend millions of dollars on marketing and all that kind of stuff, and all those developers, there's a
Hmm.
lot of people that feel like this technology can put people out of work. That if six
Yeah,
people can create something like this, what does that mean for other games that require, thousands of people and marketing teams and all that other kind of stuff, like does this
exactly.
put their jobs at jeopardy? And I think that was a lot of the controversies behind No Man's Sky, was that like a game like this, a lot of people didn't want to succeed because it would show
Yep,
that they weren't necessary. Why do you
exactly.
need to hire a big team of artists when you could throw a couple of pieces in a procedural system and the R&D create thousands of iterations of that thing?
Yep, I
You know,
agree. I mean, that, well, that and in combination, you know, and I've seen a lot of this coming out with with Fallout 76. A lot of the negativity coming out with that game. I've watched gameplay of Fallout, you know, and the game seems pretty cool to me from an outsider looking in. I mean, don't get me wrong, I haven't played nothing of the Fallout franchise, but just, from watching other streamers that I'm friends with, cover it.
right?
And yeah, I mean, to me, 76 looks like a really decent game, as far as like, the content, the graphics, and whatnot. A lot of people's fussy about it, saying it's Fallout 4 just remade with multiplayer. But hey, guess
Yeah,
what? Even if it is, it's not Fallout 4. But to get to round, tie it all up to my point is, you know, a lot of people that cover content on these games, and I believe it's sad, but it's a true fact that the negativity uh, is more popular than the positivity. I
that's
believe
just
that's
human
why you
nature.
don't. Well, I believe that's why you don't see a lot of really. I mean, with a few exceptions, really popular No Man's Sky channels. I mean, and I'm not saying not. When I say really popular, I'm talking 500,000 subscribers or 1.5 million subscriber type you know uh, channels. But there's a lot of the negativity out there. People feed into that, and I think a lot of these people covering some of these games negatively know that, or playing, pandering to an audience more than they're actually giving a equal and balanced opinion of the game
Right.
or review of the game. And I think that's where a lot of No Man's Sky fell into, because and me, we've had this conversation before. I'm not going to defend the release of No Man's Sky, because they were some things that were kind of jacked up, about the release, and I've caught my fair share of backlash for making that comment, but I'll follow that comment right up and say they have done way more than was required, or I would, or that they have made a that release with all the update and content that we've gotten in this game since. And
Yeah.
in my book, this is an awesome game, and I'll probably be playing this game for years to come.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I've said many times as well that they the once they made their money, and once the lawsuits didn't go through and all the cases against them had dropped and everything, it would have been easier for them to just disappear with their millions. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But that's not what happened. They took it personal. They wanted to do right by the community. They wanted to do right by themselves. They completely turned everything around. They regained their reputation, and to the extent by which they're being nominated for awards at the Video Game Awards, alongside titles like Destiny 2 and
Yeah.
Fortnite. Large, highly successful, highly commercial games. So for anybody out there that thought No Man's Sky was dead or that people weren't playing it, suck on those fucking grapes. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. I definitely agree, man. Let's see your chat. What's up, Kendall Southwood? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to everyone. Welcome everyone to the Deep Thought Collective. Awesome, dude. And Wizards in the chat.
Wizard, welcome back, man.
I played No Man's Sky for what it could be. Its potential is limitless. I agree, sir. And Hidden Juice says hashtag Hello Games, buddy.
Yep. Me and Hidden talk about that quite a lot, actually. That we both got the game, realized that there was some drawbacks, but the core part of the game that grabbed us from the beginning, the ability to land on a planet, explore that planet to whatever extent you wanted, and then to then get in your ship and leave seamlessly, and then to try a different planet and do the same thing, and then to have different versions of that experience 18 quintillion times sounded like a dream come true, even at a basic level, and we always held out hope that the game would evolve and become something entirely different, and it did, and it has. And in some aspects, it's lost some of its original charm, and in other aspects, it has gained so much more to the point where I could never go back permanently to the vanilla version. I might visit it from time to time,
Yeah.
but I could never go back.
Yep.
What I have
Oh,
now is just so much better.
yeah. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, man. I actually, literally, I had the opportunity to pick up a second PlayStation 4, and when I did, I made up my mind I was going to go buy another copy of No Man's Sky so I could have a disc for each PlayStation. And when I set the new PlayStation up, I didn't upload none of my data from the cloud, just so I could start the disc version. I spent an entire weekend playing the disc version of it, and like I said, I just there was stuff that I loved about it, but then I was like, okay, yeah, let me get on my other PlayStation so I can start playing, next again. And let's see, Funny Imps in the chats. I've been reading up a lot on the new upcoming indie games now. Most of them are small teams, but most of them are using procedural generation. Heck yeah, man. There's a lot of potential with procedural generation. Wizard said I was upset with Fallout 76. The size of the team and what they produce was underwhelming. And I can be underwhelmed with it.
But I wanna touch on that though, because Wizard then goes to Hidden says when he gets a few updates, right? Fallout 76, and Wizard says, but it shouldn't be that way for a company like that. And I think that that's an important distinction, right? That I think we all should pay attention to. Hello Games, in my opinion, gets a pass because it's such a small team that made a critical error with the release of a highly anticipated game that they've turned around and fixed. That does not mean that every game company can now over market its game, lie to its consumers, release a fucked up title, and then fix it and then be hailed as having done something right. It doesn't work that way. Bethesda is a huge game company. If they fix it, great, but you get no brownie points. You have hundreds of employees developing. You have hundreds of people that are working on marketing and retail and stuff like that. They can't be held to the same standard. They're
Yeah.
not. It's a false equivalency. And I think that I understand the point that Hidden's making because he plays the game, right? That they're gonna fix it with updates, and they probably will, and that's okay. I don't want to take away from the aspect that is okay, but I don't want that to become the precedent now for companies, and I agree with Wizard on
Yeah.
that. That Bethesda doesn't get an easy pass. They got to go through something at least equal to what Hello Games went through,
Yeah.
to fix their game. It's only fair.
Well, I mean, I want to get back to the days that when you spend $70 on the game, you've got the game on that disc. You know, you don't get, the first 30 hours of that game and then have to pay, either buy DLC or wait on updates to get the rest of the game. To me, that's just crazy. I
Right.
mean, with No Man's Sky, I mean, well, you can knock it all you want about the release and knock the disc 1.1 version of the game, but this game, when you bought it, when you spent that money on it, you bought access to 18 quintillion planets. You know, you bought access to you know procedurally generated music, procedurally generated ships, procedurally generated fauna. That you might land on the next planet and see something you've never seen before. I mean, I've been playing this game almost. I would say probably with the exception of the 2 weeks I played Boundless, played this game every day for at least a minimum of 2 hours for the last year, and there's still planets I'll land on
Right.
that I see something that I've never seen before. Now, the variations of WoW when I see something I've never seen before changes, but it's still the same. It's still the same feeling when you see something new that you've never seen before. And I think the $13 I picked this game up for used. I mean, that's an investment you'll never beat.
Right. I think it's one thing that I know that me and Hidden will agree on always is that even though I like Destiny, okay, as a game, one thing that I will never get past, and I never ever want to see a game company do this, and even though a lot of them probably do that I'm unaware of, but Destiny comes out with a game. They drop it and it's shit. It's missing a bunch of stuff. It doesn't have the things that they talked about. It's missing a lot of components. But here's what they do. They sell you expansion packs that make the
Hmm.
game what you thought it was going to be to begin with. They did that with Destiny 1 and they did that with Destiny 2. No one really played Destiny 2 until like the first or second expansion. And like really, because it added a ton of content that they probably already could have added. And that's a practice that
Yeah.
I want gaming companies to start avoiding. Don't release a half finished game on purpose just so that you can sell us expansions later.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Exactly.
And I used to think that like I used to have an opposite mindset to Cobra TV on this, where I thought, okay, well, if you adjust for inflation, video games should cost more because they've had an average similar cost for 25 years or whatever, 30 years, right? So that they should cost more and yada 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 because
Hmm.
they're more expensive to develop and people's incomes have to go up to account for cost of living expenses and all that other kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
no, Cobra's right. The CEOs of these companies are taking big bonuses and they're getting paid hella money, okay, and all this other kind of stuff, and they're not taking responsibility for their own business practices. They are making a lot of money on DLC. They like Cobra brought up a great point on one of his streams the other day. Um, Most people buy digital copies now. There's
Yep.
not
Yep.
as many sales for physical copies. So
Exactly.
these developers are saving a lot of money in a lot of other areas with pushing a heavily digital footprint, and they're not offsetting those savings to the customer. The customer
Yeah.
doesn't get those savings. The games are still $69.99, and then they're throwing fucking DLC on top of that, but they're saving money cost and
Now,
distribution cost and all those
what
things.
I will come in and defend Destiny 2 just a fraction. I agree with everything you just said, but I have Destiny 2 on my PS4, and it didn't cost the like the first little nugget, the sample pack or whatever you want to call it,
The nugget.
depending on your different opinion on it. But that was free to play for me by being on PS Plus. And with situations like that, to where a portion of the content is released onto the online store at a seriously reduced price, or a free to play, and then you have to come in and buy the expansion packs or the DLC for it. I'm in complete agreement for that. Because that's like you get a sample, and then you got to pay the price for the rest of the content. Now I don't know how that worked out, because I remember the last time I looked at Destiny 2, because I actually got it on my primary PSN when it was free to play with the PS Plus. But then when I went to my secondary PSN that I also have Plus on, it was $60 when I looked at it a couple months later, when I picked up that second PS2, because it wasn't on the second PS2. So,
Okay.
but like I said, that's the only thing I can really, I can say, hey, I'm gonna come to bat for Destiny 2 on, because be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the game. I just, it's not my style of game. It's not, something that I dig play, and it was a free game. I said I'm gonna try it out and see if I like it, and I played it a couple hours and said, yep, I don't like it.
Right. No, I mean that.
But
That's understandable.
yeah, and funny imp says, when it comes to Fallout 76, I need an adult need an adult to explain what's wrong with the game. I'm sick of hearing it sucks, I want a refund. Yeah, and to be honest with you, anybody that says, hey, I need a refund because I didn't like this game, or to be drug out into the tool shed and, smacked around a little bit. And I ain't saying that to be mean. I'm just saying you made the choice to buy that pre-order before you got to play it, before you seen anybody else play it. You bought it, and if this applies to anybody, I'm sorry, and I'm going to apologize up front if I hurt anybody's feelings, but you made the conscious choice to buy that sight unseen. I go to a dealership to get a car. I'm not going to just pick, I like that color, and sign me up for it and sign up for 5-6 years worth of payments without ever hopping in it and driving it and see if I even like how the thing rides. You know, and Cobra has been harping here lately, with the adage, wait, watch, and buy. And that's why I don't own Fallout 76, because I want to see gameplay of it. I'm not going to go jump in and spend a whole bunch of pre-order money. Even like with Ace Combat 7, I know I'm getting that next month when it comes out, but I will guarantee you somebody will be playing it and streaming it before I ever hit the yes, I want that game button on the PlayStation Store. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. And the thing with Ace Combat 7 is, like, I know I'm gonna get it too. And especially for, like, VR, like that, like I am dreaming about that right now. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But that being said, I'm probably gonna watch like an IGN like breakdown of it, of the
Mm-hmm.
features and the content before I go spend cold hard cash, because that game's gonna come out at like $79.99 or some shit like that.
Oh,
You know?
dude, it was 89 or 90 bucks, or 89 or 99 bucks pre-order
Yeah,
the
dude,
other
fuck
day when I
that.
was looking at it. That's what I said. I said, you must be freaking crazy. I'll wait till that game hits 60 bucks if I had to wait a year to get it.
I'm the only time I'm gonna pre-order a game like that is if on day one you give me a nuke I can drop or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Either that or you
I
get like
hate
a really
pre-ordering.
cool fighter or something, or fighter plane or something. Now I may go for that, or experimental plane or something, but
Hold on,
yeah.
let me catch up on the chat real quick, because
Go ahead,
Funny
buddy.
Imps just touched on something that I really do want to talk about. So, well, first of all, let's just go ahead and give Hidden a big shout out. He said, "Sword, you kick ass," and I pretty much
Oh,
fucking agree
thanks,
with that.
dude.
Um, Funny Imp says, "When it comes to Fallout 76, I need an adult to explain what's wrong with the game." Okay, so you already said that. Does
Yep.
anyone else have a problem with digital releases being the same price as physical copies? From my previous retail experience, I think it's ridiculous, but maybe I'm not seeing something. No, I don't think I don't have a problem with it, and here's why. Because if you completely cut the retailer out, by having the digital copy be cheaper, that's you have a jobs problem now, and then you have a lot of backbone and infrastructure in the gaming community built on retailers like GameStop and Walmart and Best Buy and companies that do like midnight releases and like things like that. That there's actually a lot of money in that for the developer, and I think as long as the practices are good with regard to like DLC and shit, like loot boxes, like we were talking about, I don't see any problem with the physical and digital being the same price. For example, if you go online and buy TurboTax, you're probably going to pay the same price for TurboTax if you download it from their website as you would if you went to Best Buy and bought the disc, right?
Hmm.
There is a certain incentive for the retailer and the people that work in the retail industry, for that to be the case. That being said, the retailers can also provide certain discounts to the customer that digital doesn't do. Like No Man's Sky, as far as I know, has never gone on sale on PSN ever.
No Man's Sky,
Yeah, has it ever gone on sale on
it,
PlayStation?
quite a bit, quite a
Really?
bit. It's been 29.99 two or three times since next dropped.
Okay, well then I take that back. Because I was gonna say every time I've looked at it, it's been 59.99,
Oh
and
yeah, trust me. When I bought the second PlayStation 2, yeah, it was 59.99 when I wanted to download it. I said screw that. I will go to GameStop and buy it for $20, and
yeah,
that's what I
or
did.
or you can get a used copy for 10, like I did.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, to be honest with you though, um, the digital versus the disc, um, I don't have a problem with them being the same price, and this is why. One, you may own a physical copy that you're able to resell it. Like you purchase a physical copy for 60, $70 at GameStop. All right, you play it for 4 or 5 months, decide that you've had your fill of it, you want to trade it in for another game. It has tangible value that you can turn around and recoup some of your money. Two, with a digital version of a game downloaded into your PlayStation, onto your PlayStation Plus or the cloud or whatnot, that's tied to your PSN. So it's no matter what you do, you will always own that game and it always be in top running form. Like as opposed with a disc that gets scratched, deteriorates, loses its um playability after a while. And if anybody's had a PlayStation 2 very long, they know what I'm talking about. I think I've ended up owning at least three PlayStation 2s since I've been gaming because the with that reverse disc spin, if you ever played DVDs in it, you pretty much ruin the gameplay on it after about 6 or 8 months because it would spin DVDs in the opposite direction that it was spinning PlayStation discs, and it will cause the console to malfunction after a period of use. So I mean, like I said, the physical owning the hardware, I don't have a problem with it being the same thing as the digital because you're always going to have the top quality, best functioning version in the digital, and I believe that brings it back to the value, the same value as the disc version. Plus that, you can always sell your disc version. You
Right.
know, you
Also,
can't
just
you
to
can't
just
sell
to
your
add to
digital.
that, the disc version, you like you said, you actually own physical property. And I don't know if you've read the terms and conditions when you buy a digital copy of a game, but you actually don't own the game. You don't own
Hmm.
any exclusivity to the game. What you own is a DRM license that's temporary. You have purchased a temporary digital license, that can be revoked and disqualified at any time. So just
Really?
kind of think about that.
I need to start reading my
Hmm.
disclaimers when I purchase stuff. But don't
Seriously,
get me
seriously,
wrong, I'm old
if
schooler
Sony
that
if
would rather
Sony
have the disc
decides,
anyway. Yeah.
right, well, if Sony decides that they don't want to support a digital library anymore for certain video games beyond a certain date, just because it requires too much of their infrastructure and stuff to support it, they can disqualify that at any time. It's like Netflix. You pay a subscription to Netflix, but they're always dropping and gaining programming, right?
Yeah,
Because even though you're
all the
paying
time.
for content, you don't own the content. You just own a temporary sort of license to the content. Um,
Yeah. Well, I
Wizard
know
says
me and the
so
wife was
annoying. Or go ahead.
Go ahead, buddy.
So Wizard said the annoying thing is that the way the game industry is going, release part of the game and then sell what it takes to finish. And yeah, no, exactly. That seems to be what they're going for. I don't think the gaming communities are really going to allow them to get away with that. I think that there's a certain breaking point for video game purchasers where they'll eventually sort of not accept what the game developers are putting in front of them. So they're going to hit a
Hmm.
breaking point, but they might try that, and the gaming consumers are going to, you know, set them straight. Money talks and bullshit walks. And
Oh yeah.
if you ever want to hurt a corporation in their pocket, you just don't buy their shit, and then you convince other people not to buy their shit, and then that corporation will listen to you real quick.
Well, exactly. You know that's a nice capitalist view of it.
Yep,
It's a self-fixing problem. You keep providing substandard content, exorbitant pricing. Eventually, your consumer's going to backlash on you, and you pay a toll for it. You know, and some people recover from that, and some people never do.
exactly.
But
There's a certain point at which the consumer will just say enough's enough. I won't accept
exactly.
anymore.
Well, either that, or you're going to have a developer come out and because I see it happen all the time in business that if the industry gets to the point where it loses its focus of the consumer wants and desires, eventually there's going to be a competitor come up, Hello Games, that's going to do something extremely outside of the box that people aren't going to understand or accept at first, but realize the potential of it, and it's going to start shutting people down.
Yep,
You know, we like I said, we made the comment about the procedural generation and how such a small team built such an awesome big game as compared to people with 800 people, 800 employees working on just the artwork for a game that has limits and boundaries compared to 5 or 6 people working on an algorithm that gives you endless combinations and potential. It's it's a dangerous concept because a lot of people probably start sweating procedural generation the more games that adopt it. But it's just technology that's going to get better.
and
And
if you don't believe that AAA titles are adopting procedural generation, especially after No Man's Sky, Horizon
hmm
used it, God of War used it, Red Dead Redemption 2 is using it. They're all using some sort of a hybrid procedural generation system to create these large explorable worlds. So these corporations are learning that they don't need as many people as they thought they needed, and that's going to present a problem, and you're always going to have some market resistance due to that.
yep, I've been watching some old 4 or 6 year old YouTube videos of interviews with Sean Murray and his team. I watched one this morning on the way to work, or listened to one this morning. I ain't gonna say I watched it because I was driving, but I don't watch them. I just listen to them. But they had a 65 days of static, um, and Sean Murray and who was the music director for Hello Games? I know his name. I just can't spit it out right now. Um, I think Cobra interviewed him not too long ago.
It's gonna hit me.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody will put it up in the chat here in a second. I'll wait for them. But had all 4 of them on 2 guys for 65 days of static, and then Sean Murray and crap. I'll know his name as soon as I move on from it. But Anyway, they were talking about how they set up the music and the soundtrack and the music that generates in these worlds, and how where you have like solid music, like when you first get in your ship, that's cube music for that instance. When you first fly into a space station, that's cube music for that instance. Warping through the galaxy, that's cube music. But when you're out exploring a planet, in different systems, different planets, different worlds, that's procedural, guys. And how they set that up to where it went along inside and rendered in just as the world rendered in, that you landed on. That it took that coordinate system, and that algorithm tells the game or your console that if you're in that position in the galaxy, this is what you're supposed to be seeing. And I never give it that much thought until I watched that video this morning. I've been doing it as I've been playing today, because most of the time, as you get in the gameplay and you get into the immersion, the music becomes kind of like background or white noise to you. You don't really, really sink in and listen to the music because you're concentrating on all the stuff going on in your screen. But I never give that a second. I never give that any deep consideration until today, of how cool that concept is. That
Oh yeah,
you'll land on a planet, and that planet in that biome, in that situation and circumstance that you've landed on it, the game is producing music or playing music that may be unique just for that planet.
that's crazy.
I found that extremely intriguing.
That's crazy. And you're right, that is pretty difficult to wrap your head around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
Uh,
watched a video where he explained the procedural generation, and the way he talked about the mathematics behind it. He didn't get like in depth of it, but basically you got this XYZ coordinate, and you have these, I think it's 4 or 6 mathematical algorithms that stack on top of each other, that tell the console what to produce on your screen. To me, that's what gets me so excited about this game. I love the sci-fi and the look and the feel to the game. But what really just blows my mind is how that is possible.
yeah, that is pretty incredible. I just want to get caught up on the chat real quick.
Go ahead, buddy.
Let's see here. I may be now 40% of everything about No Man's Sky. Compared to you people, you all sound smart. I play it from the start and got 213 hours in my last save. What counts is that you're got a heart for No Man's Sky. That's true. Is that you have a heart for No Man's Sky. That
Hmm.
it. People like what they like. The heart wants what the heart wants. For some people, they're just not going to like No Man's Sky. It's just not their game. And if you admit that to yourself and you say, "Hey, this is just I'm not into this," that's fair. When you start criticizing certain aspects of the game, using falsehoods or old platitudes from before a lot of these things were added, that's where I start to have a problem. And sort of like just to reiterate what you or Godsmack said, really what matters, really what counts is that you have a heart for No Man's Sky. And if you do, you're already a member of the community and you're probably already watching this stream. Um, Tariq says, "What's your No Man's Sky Christmas wish?" I kind of talked about it earlier already. There's two things. I want the star to be at the center of the system, and I want to be able to steer while I'm pulse driving. Um, Wizard says, "Snowballs that you can use as a weapon." That would be cool. Funny Imp says, at Tariq, start ship customization. Yes. Yes, ship customization is sorely needed. And I think that they're saving it for a future update, but I think there's already in the space stations a big hint that was always intended to come. Tariq says colors and ship part or adding a man turret. How about both? I'd like to see hard points. When you buy new technology for your ship, I'd like to see that ship have a physical or that technology have a physical representation on your ship, sort of like how it already works with the exocraft. Um, Funny Imp says I could change the color, cockpit, tail, engine style, etc. Yeah, or like Hidden was talking about earlier today. If you find a ship that you really like the body style of, you shouldn't have to sacrifice that ship for another. If you really want to spend the money, and they should make it expensive and challenging, but if you really want to spend the money, you could modify that ship to be exactly as good as you'd like it to be and as you could afford for it to be. Um, Funny Imp says the one reason why I believe digital should be cheaper is it rarely happens, but you run the risk of PS axing your purchase. That's true, but also there are no costs associated with mass production or distribution, physically at least. Wizard says take each ship type has its own set, or Tariq, each ship type has its own set of front ends, wings, engines, tails, and cockpits. True, that would be sick as hell. Looks like you started a popular topic, Tariq. Thanks, man. And Tariq says, shit, I'm still learning how to develop games and know not to have that many people working on concept art. Exactly, dude. And let's see here. We need more new Starship parts and better visual effects added. I agree. I'd also, let me throw this on my Christmas wish list for No Man's Sky also. I'd like better and more dynamic weather. I'm talking lightning striking the ground, um, tornadoes in the distance, things like that that I don't think would be impossible to add, but might just require a little bit more finesse. And obviously, Hello Games needs more time to add things like that. And I don't think it's off the books for them. I think they'd like to do it. It's just a question of where that falls on their priority list. And then to sort of tag along with that, maybe just certain animal behaviors enhanced. I think that I should from time to time see birds that are flying land into trees and stuff like that, or land on the ground and start picking at the grass. It's minor, it's very subtle, and it would significantly increase the immersion of the animal behavior in the game. So, but yeah, and then Wizard says, I just thought it would be great to log into a stream and pelt Panda with a snowball, then log out. That's if you could beat Remus to it, kind sir, because I think he'd be the first one to peg me if he could.
I don't know. I think Remus learned his lesson the other day.
I don't think so. I think that he's going to try to figure out how to align his multi-tool in such a way as you've done with yours, and then he will come seeking revenge. But he won't take it out on Sword because Sword is dangerous. He'll take it out on Panda, who's not as dangerous.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, dude. The next time you're offline or not streaming and in game, and you see me on, hit me up. I will teach you the ways of the Jedi, dude.
You're gonna help me get Remus proof.
Pretty much, yeah. Or at least let you hang in there a lot longer. That you'll have some teeth when he shows up. But I'm going to sound like a Miss Universe pageant contestant when I say this. Y'all keep talking about this Christmas list or Christmas wish list from Hello Games. I'm going to tell you guys, Abyss, Visions, Next. That was my Christmas present. I mean, I couldn't, I'm to the point now they've surprised me, shocked me, and put me in awe so much with this game and the stuff they've released in the last 6 months into this game. I would feel, I kind of feel bad even considering getting anything for Christmas from them. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, you talk about, who was it? I think Tariq was talking about, or Tariq or Wizard was talking about the fauna interactions, or the how they I can't, let me scroll back and try to catch the content, see who said that. Was talking about how the fauna interact, talking about birds, and where you was talking about birds landing and
Right.
picking at the grass and whatnot. Guys, go explore. The fauna now, like the predators, when they attack you, it's not they walk up to you and you get a strike or take damage. They actually swipe at you with their paws now. They actually bite at you with their mouth. The birds on my permadeath save, the starting planet that I first based up on, or in the starting area where I started making my galactic journey to the center, the birds on that planet would actually fly like at head level. I mean, it was like they were diving down to hit you. You know, their animations and their movement now. They're Yeah. I mean, they've drastically improved fauna since the beginning of Next, or since Next dropped with the Visions and Abyss.
They really have though, and like the way that animals move in like herds and stuff now. I mean, it's
Hmm.
definitely a step in the right direction. They're only going to enhance it, right? But yeah, like
Oh
animal
yeah.
behavior definitely has been enhanced. Like the way they move in herds, like there's certain things that they do that like yeah. I mean, we all
Well,
know
it's
like
so
that,
much more believable,
right?
when you see it. It adds to the immersion to the game, because, I've caught myself, not as much on stream as much off stream, be walking around the planet or out collecting resources, or just, going out on a planet, and you'll walk up on like huge herds of fauna. I'm talking 16, 20 of that kind of fauna. You know, amassed or grouped up in a prairie or a meadow. And when you get close to them, or get near enough to where they notice you or react to you, they react with the herd mentality. I mean, like I said, they've made leaps and bounds with fauna generation and fauna interaction since 1.3.
I could subscribe to that. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right for sure. Let's see here.
Which and don't get me wrong, and don't nobody take this as me, you know, saying no, you're wrong kind of thing. It. I probably wouldn't have seen it if I hadn't put the time in that I put into the game. You know what I mean? It's like I said. It's I seen this streamer. He done a video, and it's been a while back. And I'm not gonna name names. And I'm gonna call him out for it. But he he done an edited video, and basically he would update it. He would do a little section and would talk about the game, and it was a negative video. I mean, it was since Next, and the guy was showing the gameplay, and what was wrong with it, and why he didn't like it, and this, that, and the other, and how it was dull and boring, and so similar and repetitive, and this, that, and the other. And he went completely through 20 hours of gameplay this guy put into the game, and as he was doing it, the one thing I had noticed is that he put 20 hours into that game and got nothing accomplished. It didn't talk about the Artemis missions. It didn't talk about the Atlas missions. It didn't talk about, I mean, the one thing he talked about as far as missions goes was the Awakenings mission, because you get horseshoed into that when you first get to your ship, and he spent no time discovering. He'll walk around a few planets. He walk around a planet or two and say, okay, the fauna's all the same. Well, of course, you never left that biome. You never went to another planet. You never went to multiple systems and explored. You were on a toxic planet and walked around a toxic planet for 5 hours. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, yeah, it's going to be repetitive if you stay on the same planet for 5 hours walking around. But, the thing about it is, you might go to 50 planets and see similar stuff, but there's always that 51st planet, or that 101st planet, or that 201st planet that you're going to land on, and you're going to see some stuff that's going to drop your jaw.
Right. You can't take it at like, in my opinion, you can't really judge the game like, and I think me and you agree on this, unless you put a few hundred hours in,
Yeah,
because it's just impossible to judge it at that point. There's just no way to do it. There just
yeah,
isn't.
exactly. And and I've made, and don't get me wrong, I'm bad for being a little judgmental or you know, to be less polite, a little bitchy about some of these people that are negative against the game, because it's a game I love and I'm passionate about it and I'm going to defend it. And I've made the comment before, you can't jump in creative, play this game, 35 minutes and expect to know, be able to form an opinion to come out and do a video and tell me about it. And I think it's reckless and irresponsible for people that have 3 to 6 to 10,000 subscribers to do stuff like that with a game. You play a game, an hour, 45 minutes or something, and think you've seen especially something like No Man's Sky. I think it's just reckless and childish that you would even attempt to presume to know anything about the game and not only play 45 minutes.
No, I think I would tend to agree with you on that.
But I tell you what, I will revise my statement about the Christmas wish list. The one thing I would love to get updated before Christmas or whenever they get around to it is quit making these friggin' S classes so hard to find.
Or if they're going to be that hard to find, give them like more slots.
Oh my god, dude. I've been at this planet looking for that Black Explorer. The one I got on permadeath in like 2 tries or 2 nights. I've been on this doggone new save I've been playing looking for this ship for 3 days straight. Ever since I got the hauler and got it fixed. Well, no, since I got my fighter the other day. I've been on this toxic planet waiting on this frickin' Explorer. And I've seen 3 S classes and not a one of them's had warp drives over 55%. No, it's the one I got off of Reddit, funny. The one I got off of Reddit that I got on permadeath, that black and orange one.
Where the fuck is the door for this?
But I've literally, I think I was at 3 or 4 souls on this account on my milestones. It was like level 1 or 2 on my milestones. I've actually gotten maxed out on my extreme survival milestones looking for this freaking Explorer on this double extreme planet. Very, very frustrated.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm such a ship snob when it comes to ships that it's got to be dead on perfect or I'll pass on it. And like I said, I've seen 3 of them in S class and have passed on all 3 of them because of the warp drives.
The warp drives haven't been too good?
Well, I'm looking for 64%.
I think that's what mine has. I think mine's a 64%.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, 64. So mine's 49 damage, 55 shield, 64 hyperdrive. What am I doing wrong here?
To be honest with you, though, we were talking about ship customization, or the chat was talking about ship customization earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, if we get customization, I hope it's slots only. I hope the outside, the wings, the bodies, the colors and stuff, I hope they never change it. I believe discovering a really cool exotic ship or exotic unique colored ship or body style adds character to the game and character and stuff interaction with the community. Now as far as like the cargo slots, man, I would be happy if it cost 500 million units for each slot, but to be able to add slots to the ships like you did your exosuit, that would make my day.
Right.
But to be able to change the color and stuff, now I love it the way it is now, because like even though I've spent a good 7 8 hours at this trade station looking for this S-Class Explorer, I don't count it as time wasted because once I get it, I'm going to feel like I earned it.
It's kind of like that S-Class hauler I was trying to get. Like, I streamed trying to get that thing for like 3 days. It was like
Mm-hmm.
several hours. And then now that I have it, even though the appearance of it changed with the update, like
Oh,
I can't let it go.
you talking about the Nemesis hauler that we was at?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, I can't remember the guy's name. Funny Imp seen it on Reddit. This guy found it. I actually got a location on the Nemesis replica. I went and got that thing. I think it was Saturday on stream.
Hey, can you?
Snarfalot. There you go. Funny Imp said the guy's name was Snarfalot. He posted it up on Reddit and on Twitter. Big shout out to that dude. Awesome, awesome find, man. Actually found that white and red Nemesis hauler pre-next form
Damn, dude.
with the. Yeah, dude. I'll drop it in the Mino chat for you. I'll do that real quick. But yeah, man, I was well pleased to get that thing.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Wizard there. Like, you guys are right. Like, the S classes are designed more to be like, I guess, like status symbols. Like, you went the extra mile to get that thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean I agree. I mean even the more unique ones being harder to find, I don't have a problem with that. I kind of hope that, like I said, they don't get it to where like, I find a cool ship and then you go up to the space station and refit your ship to look just like it. If I spent 6-7 hours at a trade station getting it, that it's special to me because of that.
Right.
And a lot of times that's what makes them so unique. Like the Nemesis hauler in pre-net, in 1.3, that's the reason that ship was so hard to find because it was a medium economy. And it was already going to have to spend double the time there to get it because of the economy of the system. But it was such a rare, cool white ship that not a lot of people had. It was worth the wait.
Dude, how did my stairs end up so crooked? I'm gonna have to fix that. It's like not coming straight.
Is your cuboid room straight with the walkway?
I think I need to go into photo mode and look at it from the top down.
I think your cuboid rooms are a little askew there, sir.
No, it's not the cuboid room because I built them on top of a cylinder. What it is that the platform that I built up to the walkway
Uh-huh.
is off center. I just need to move the platform a couple degrees to the right.
I tell you the best way to do that is like delete your walkway, put a corridor room coming out of the door of your cuboid rooms, and then put a wall piece on that corridor, and then put a wall piece down to the level that you want your walkway, and then delete your walkway and redo it, and or your platform, and redo it, and you'll be completely square.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do then. Maybe the next time I'm on, you might have to drop in on my game and show me how to do that.
Okay.
This is basically going to be the gallery, so all the trophies that I pick up when I'm exploring, um, those trophies I'm going to house in this gallery from all the different exotic planets and stuff like that.
Oh my, you're gonna have to expand. I've found 11 of them so far.
11 unique ones.
Yep.
Well, this building is actually going to be big. It's going to be about as wide and as long as the actual crater hole.
Awesome. Heck yeah, man.
So, but it's getting late, and I got to work early in the morning. And I appreciate you jumping
Yeah,
on here
me
with me,
too,
Sword.
brother.
like a whole lot.
Oh man,
And
anytime, dude, anytime.
no, seriously, I appreciate it. You've always been a badass dude, and yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. And big shout out to Slade Braddock as well, who kicked the stream off with me. Big shout out to Hidden, who made a couple of streams today. And guys, if you're watching and you haven't seen the video that I dropped earlier today with our hub highlight showcase, make sure you guys check that out. We unveiled the new FDI Capitol building in that video, as well as a base that I felt deserved to be on the first episode of our hub
Oh,
highlight
dude,
base
thanks,
showcase.
man.
So, um, but yeah,
Freaking
guys,
A. And I will tell you this before you close the stream out too. This goes out to you and Hidden as well, man. Anytime I'm live and y'all guys want to come in the party chat, just send the invite, dude. Y'all have a open invitation, standing open invitation for any of my streams, dude.
appreciate that, dude.
Heck yeah. Man, like I said, if it, and I've said it before, and you know, I'll tell you right now, if it weren't for you and the encouragement you shown me, I wouldn't even start streaming, dude. You know, you the one that told me, hey, try it. You know, just put it out there, try it, and you know, if it had been up to my own resolve or my own convincing, I'd have never went live, dude. So I owe a lot of I owe that initial push and that encouragement. That's you, brother.
Well, I
So big shout
appreciate
out to Panda, guys.
I appreciate that. You know, I always feel like a lot of us in this community, especially before next, we really supported this game even through the dark times. And you've always been a big supporter of the game and a big supporter of the community, and you've helped me with a lot of things, even before you started streaming with the now defunct Galactic Consortium and with the FDI and everything as well. So I am in just as much gratitude towards you, and I appreciate it. And before we have a big old love fest here, guys, thank you for coming by and watching the stream. Thank you for all your support on the Hidden Panda Show and helping us grow. It definitely means a lot to me and Hidden. We are blown away. We still treat this like we did when it was just 3 subscribers to the channel, and me and Hidden were 2 of them, and we're going to continue to treat it that way. So even if we get bigger, even if we do more things with the channel, even if we do more videos and different kinds of commentary and stuff like that, we're always going to approach the channel and the people who visit the channel with the same sort of passion and conviction we did at the very beginning. Every view, every like, every subscription really means a great deal to us, and I'm so glad to have met all of you. So thank you for stopping by the stream. Sword, have a good night.
All right, dude, man. Y'all have a great one.
You too, man. Everybody, Panda.